Hey everybody, welcome back to Ready Steady Play. And I'm here doing a solo stream again because I wanted to get some tangible games on the table. And one arrived actually, which is Pendulum from Stonemaier Games. So this is Stonemaier Games, if you haven't heard of them. They are, of course, the Wingspan team. I mean, formerly the Scythe team, but that was overtaken by Wingspan, I think, as their sort of main game. But they also did Viticulture, of course, a beloved classic, although don't ask me my opinion on it. And also they did Charterstone as well, which is sort of like a village building legacy game. And the company is owned by Jamie Stegmaier, designer, for example, of Scythe. But this is not designed by Jamie Stegmaier. In fact, this is designed by a one Travis Jones, who I'm not sure. I was about to say newcomer Travis Jones, but I'm not entirely sure if that's true. But I think it might be. Anyway, thank you for joining me tonight, Heggers. Hey, evening. How you doing? So I got this new version of Pendulum. Oh, of course. How could I forget Tapestry? We played it on the channel. Tapestry. We covered that. So I was interested in Pendulum. I was more interested in Pendulum because I do like Stonemaier Games' production quality, although I'm not 100% sold on Jamie's designs. They're not bad, but and a lot of people really, really like them. But I've not yet been totally sold on one of his designs. But I like Wingspan, which is from his company, designed by Elizabeth Hargraves. And I like, I've tried to play Pendulum. And we'll talk more about Pendulum as this video progresses. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the rules for Pendulum, and then I'm going to talk about the solo rules for Pendulum, and then I'm going to play it solo, which is interesting. So I'll open up the box and I'll sort of show you how to set it up in just a second. But if you were completely unfamiliar with it, what attracted me to this is this interesting premise, which is that it is a real-time game, but it's a worker placement game. So usually real-time involves things like chucking clusters of dice or doing things against a clock. You know, I'm thinking about Escape Curse of the Temple, something like that. Or I'm thinking about the XCOM board game, you know, but oftentimes you're playing directly against the clock. So essentially it's a case of being as quick as possible. And this sort of generates a fun sense of stress. Pendulum it definitely has that. But it also has sort of little moments of downtime, and a lot of it is sort of keeping track of what you need to do and what you need to prioritize. And also sort of keeping in your mind when things are going to become accessible to you and when they're going to become inaccessible to you. Hey Heggers, you just bought Scythe? Well, I hope you like it. You can let me know how you get on with it. I don't mind Scythe, but I don't own it. Um, so if you don't like that sort of stress of real time, though, I don't think this is going to be the game that changes your mind about it. It's not as intense as other ones, but it's definitely still there. But they do implement it in an interesting way, and there's a few other interesting factors about this game as well. And so if I do have a one-word review for this game, it is interesting. And I'm going to show you just how interesting it is. But what I'll do is I will show you how to play the game, which I don't think will take very long, because it's actually a lot simpler than it seems. The most complex things about it are the fact that it's so different to what you're used to. So let's bring in the old table camera here. Shall we do this one? There we go. Okay. So I haven't set it up because I'm going to show you how to set it up. Hey Brandon, thanks for joining me. And Lucky Lukey, hello, how you doing? So we got 3 rule books in here actually, and what they did was they did the main rule book, the solo rule book, and also this quick reference guide to help you get set up and get playing as quickly as possible. We got a board, it's double-sided, so the game is, it says it's 60 to 90 minutes for 1 to 5 players. That's actually fairly accurate. Normally the box times are not accurate, but what's interesting about this is that it's a 4-round game, and the rounds are controlled by the timers. So there is some variability, but generally speaking, if it takes you much longer than 10 to 15 minutes per round, you're probably playing with people who are really struggling with some of the some of the decision making in the game. But it shouldn't really it shouldn't be that hard. It's not really about it's the biggest challenge is keeping track of all the decisions. In fact, it even says in the design notes in the rule book that you're gonna make mistakes, and actually trying how you cope with your own player mistakes and make up for those things is part of the skill of the game, which I find really intriguing as a premise. You've got your Tainted Grail, and that's all you've been playing. Well, Lucky Lukey, now is the time to be getting stuck into those long legacy games. Okay, so we've got our board out. Now I'm going to put it on the 1 to 3 player side here, but the only real difference you'll see on either side of the board are the number of these golden rimmed squares here. So we'll flip this over to so you see here on the 1 to 3 player side, you've got one little one and one big one instead of 3 little ones. Okay. So the game comes with a game board, and you've also got an achievement board, which looks like this. You'll need both of these boards for every game. You've got an Automa board, which we'll look at when we get to the solo part. And you've got player boards. And when I first played the game, actually, I was a little concerned about the replayability of the game. So I played a 2-player game, and I've played it solo a few times as well. And when I first played it, I was a little concerned about the replayability of it, but I tried a couple of these characters in what's called their advanced mode. So each character board has 2 sides. It's got a basic side and an advanced side, and the advanced side is a lot more different to the basic side. I'm just going to see if I can get this one up here for you guys. So this is the advanced side here for this character, Bulk the Warmonger, and it does say down here, this is the experienced player's side, so be mindful of that. But if you have a look at the basic side here, it doesn't look all that much different at first glance, but there is a lot of sort of unique characteristics here that come out on the advanced board. So that, I think, is where most of the replayability in this game will come from. But what we're going to do is I'll probably play on the basic side. I haven't decided yet. But you randomly assign each player a character. So I'm just going to put out 2 character boards here for my 2 fictional players that I'm setting up for. We can leave one on the advanced side just so I can show you how that works. It's actually no real different. For setup, it's no real different. We've got also in here 3 egg timers. And we can set those out on the so that they're not running in the top row of each of their sections. So you'll see that the colors of the timers match 3 colored sections of the board. So we've got let me see that's on camera. We've got here a purple section of the board, a green section of the board, and a black section of the board. There's also a province section here and an achievement section here. But we've got, I've put together these little player bags, and the thing about the game here is that actually every player, and this is quite nice, I actually quite like the way they've done this, but each player has a limited amount of resources that they can collect. And sort of each player is managing 2 supplies. The supply they have access to, and the supply they don't have access to. So you're just putting tokens between the ones you can spend and the ones you've already spent. And I like that because it makes setup quick and easier. It's also, I think, quite necessary for the way the game plays. But I'll tell you what, before we get too much more into the theme of the game, before we get too much more into the setup of the game, I'm just going to quickly give you guys the theme here because you're probably wondering, what do I do in this game? Well, basically, what's happened is we're in a fictional land that I forgot the name of. Let me find it for you guys. Deunia. Okay, and in Deunia, there's loads of fictional fantasy races, and they're all vying for control of the land. Essentially, there's a character called the Timeless King, who's got a sort of a, what was the name of the Titan that stole fire from the gods? Is it Prospero? Anyway, it's the same kind of theme, but this guy stole time from the gods, and he manages time, and he became the legendary Timeless King. But he's gone missing. and the giant clock he built in the center of the land has stopped ticking. And apparently, when the clock starts ticking again, then the new timeless king will be chosen. So we are all working together to become the most powerful in all the land, so that when the clock starts ticking again, we will be the new timeless king and inherit the crown. And so what we're going to be doing is collecting essentially victory points in three forms: military, coin, and culture. And these 3 points at the end of the game, these 3 tracks at the end of the game, will determine who the winner is. But it's a little bit more complex than that. But essentially, that's the theme of the game, right? Where there's a sort of the main game where you're collecting, each round has 2 phases. The main phase, where you're sort of collecting all these resources and goods, and the second phase, which is the council phase, wherein it's sort of like a reset phase for the game, but that's where you'll be determining who is the most privileged and things like that. So let's get back to looking at the setup on the table here. So what we've got here is these 3 areas of the board. Now, these are not correlated to the 3 resource types I just spoke about. Although you will find that you get your blue culture victory points from the purple board. There's money and military points available here on the green board, and you can't pick up victory points at all here on the black board, but you can pick up other sort of things, resources and provinces as well. Provinces are the ones over here. They're really important. We'll talk about those in a minute, but the timers all tick at different speeds as well. So managing which board your workers are on and when they're on those boards and when you trigger them is basically the core mechanic of this game. But to continue with the setup, we've got some cards here. We've got the achievement cards, so you can shuffle all of the achievement cards and just put them here. And you can flip over the top one as well. And if you're playing a 2 or 3 player game, you'll get this little star and put it here on the red card. And if you're playing a 4 or 5 player game, put it here on the achievement card here. This is super important, and we'll talk about why that's so important when we get to the victory conditions in a moment. But I'm going to leave it up here because I'm setting up a 2-player game. We've also got here, actually, and these are super important as well, a bunch of reference cards that show you the rules for the advanced sides of the characters. And these advanced characters all come with advanced cards as well. And when I was first playing the advanced characters, I was like, how am I supposed to know what all these cards do? Well, it's all written here on these. We won't need these because I'm not going to use the advanced characters on this stream because I'm too worried about losing. No, I'm kidding. I'm not going to use them because I found it quite stressful, actually. When I was just playing off camera. I think managing a stream and playing the advanced characters will probably just about do me in. We've also got some player reference cards here, and we've got a council phase and these cards here which show you the council phase again on one side. The council tile also has a call council on it as well. So you can see here you've got this card here, which is essentially giving you an effect of the timers. We'll talk about that and what it means in a minute. But you've also got this call council and council phase card reference here, and the council phase is also on the back of these ones as well. So that's all the reference cards you need. And we can just leave those out somewhere where we can easily reference them. Also in here, the rest of this deck is all automata stuff. So this is all used for playing the automatas. Those are the only actual big cards you need for the game, but we've got some little cards as well. So we've got a deck of provinces, and you just give these a shuffle and put them out here, and then lay 4 face up, like this. Now the provinces actually all have different colors, and the colors basically show you what the provinces do. And I can talk about that when we get to the rules in a little bit. We've also got a whole big stack of these little cards, and the main things to look at, there are the yellow cards, there's the blue cards, there's one yellow card, blue cards with trophy, red cards with trophy, and a bunch of cards that have sort of different symbols on the back like that. I think we've got So you can see here we've got our little cards here. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a achievement deck with the 3 trophy cards. And then these cards are the character's starting cards. And there's 2 decks for each player board. One deck for the basic side of the player board and another deck for the advanced side. So you'll find 4 cards for each side of each player board. So a total of 40. And so you're going to find the 4 cards with the correct symbol that matches this section of the player board and give those 4 cards to each player. Hey Heggers, there's actually going to be 2 Automata players in this game because in the Automata game you automatically play with 3 players. Heggers is just saying who does he think will win, me or the Automata? But the real question is, will it be me or Automata 1 or Automata 2? So I'm just going to go ahead and find the decks here. So here we've got Mesoat's deck, and we'll find Bulk the Champion's deck as well with the sword on it. And each deck, the complexity of these cards varies greatly. So like I said, when I was playing on the basic side of the board, I was like, yep, I know how to use these cards. I can figure out pretty quickly how to gain some advantage out of them. And when I was playing on the advanced side of the deck, I was like overwhelmed. I was like, how do I do this? So once we've got that set up, we're going to set up the achievement board up here. Get out of here, these things. And to set up the achievement board, you take the yellow card and you put it in this space. It'll be in this space the whole game. You'll never get rid of it. So it'll just flip over at different points. I've also got these red cards. You don't even need to shuffle them. You can just stick them straight here. And then we've got the blue cards. Give them a shuffle and take 10 of them out. Those 10 will not be used at all in the game. So we're going to randomly seed the rest of the deck. So get rid of 10 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Boom, gone. The rest can go on top of the deck here and then flip 5 of them face up. So filling in the rest of the spots here. Okie dokie. And these ones go back in the box. We'll see you later. Okay. Now, I've got my little setup notes here as well, just to make sure I don't miss anything. Right. Well, we've done, I think that's the main board done, actually. If we're playing in a 2-player game, we're going to put out some meeples. So now's a good time for everyone to pick their color. There are 5 colors in the game. We'll use blue, we'll use green, and we'll use orange, I think, for this setup. Now, in a 3-player game, upwards, you wouldn't do this step, but in a 2-player game, we're going to put out some meeples to simulate our missing player. And it doesn't matter, actually, whether we use the big meeples or the small meeples. There are two different sides of meeples. I'm going to regret dropping all those later. We got, can we see them here? Yeah, we got the big meeple, who's the grande, and the small meeple, who is the common worker. And this is going to be so important to you later on. Lucky I didn't use the green ones for that, actually. But it's going to be super important during the game, but during the setup of the 2-player game, it's not as important. You've just got to put out some on the board to simulate your missing 3rd player. Now, bear with me here while I just remember where they go. I don't like the setup actually in this rule book, I gotta say. The quick guide is almost better. Yeah, 2 players. Right, 1 in each of the small spaces here. So you're going to get these neutral workers, the orange workers, and fill up the little spaces on each of the 4 rows. So, and it doesn't matter, like I said, it doesn't matter if they're the common worker or the grande worker. Then each other player will take their player colors. And by the way, the only differences for player count are at 2 players, you put the meeples out and that down there. On 3 players, you put that down there, and on 4 and 5, you do none of that. You start this token down here, and there's no meeples on the board, but just make sure you have the board on the right side. So, for each player I've put together a bag here, which contains their workers and their pieces and their resources. And everyone should have 10 of these purple vote tiles. So in the council phase, we're going to be assessing who has privilege, which is essentially the most influence with the council. And that, of course, is the person with the most votes. So you'll want to collect these purple tokens during the main phase in order to win the most votes. So everybody gets 10 and 20 of, so you've got 30 in total, 2 10 level tokens as well. Out of the resources available, these are the only ones that are not limited. So if you would ever get more than 30 in the main phase, you can just take extras to make up the missing amount. But that would be really hard. I think that would be really hard. Then you've got your remaining resources, which are the cubes. So we've got we should have 10 of each different colored cube. That's 10 gold, 10 military, and 10 culture. And we can see them all in their different colors there. Each player gets this amount. These are limited. So if you gain coins, but you've already got 10 on your player board, you can't get any more. Then we've got one victory point marker in 4 different colors. We've got the 3 main victory points here, and this gray one, which is used to track the legendary achievement, which is so important, and I'll talk about it a bit later on. We've also got 3 of our common workers, 2 grande workers, and a privilege marker here. So we're going to put our privilege markers up here, and we're going to randomize the order during the player setup. We're also going to put our victory point markers out here on our player boards. Let me get this guy set up for you. Here we go. So we're going to put everything on the left side of the parchment. So you'll notice there's a parchment here, and that's super important. But we've got our little symbols here showing the start of each track, as well as the legendary one, which just has 2 spaces. So that one goes down there. This one goes over here. You get the yellow one down there, and the red one over there. So different characters will have different lengths of track here as well. It's one of the asymmetrical parts of the characters. So you can see Bulk needs a lot of military victory points and less money. And this is on the simple side as well. We can also take our starting resources as we set up our players here. So we check our spaces over here to determine the starting resources, and we can see, based on the numbers in the bottom corner here, our starting levels. And also, this just indicates that you start with 1 regular worker and 1 grande, like that. And then we get 4 coins, we get 2 military, and we start with no culture as Bulk. So, the remaining goods, we take our second grande worker here, and we put him above the achievement board like this. We take our remaining 2 workers and we put them next to our player board so we can gain easy access to them. However, it's important to make sure that they are distinct from our supply. So these are not in play yet, and we will have to unlock them over the course of the game. Your goods, you'll also want to sort into separate piles so that they're easy to access, because you're going to spend a lot of time moving tokens off here and grabbing tokens to move them back onto here. So you want to make sure that that's easy to do and easy to do accurately. I'm not quite setting that up yet because I'm going to tear this down in a minute for the solo play. But we've also got 0 votes for Bulk to start with. And then we just do the same with Mesoat. Oh. So he's going to do the exact same thing. So I'll just very quickly do that. Yeah. He will be green. Yes, he's green because I've already used orange as the known player tokens. We don't need any of these other ones for the orange player. We will not need them at all. So, oh yeah, I literally just lied. Stick one of these the orange privilege token here on the bottom of the rack, the track here, and then shuffle these 2, the remaining 2 privilege tokens, to see who gets to be first, the green player, and second, the blue player. There's a slight advantage for the green player in this, but not huge. Someone has to go first. But incidentally, that's the only sort of first player mechanic in this game. And it's only for breaking ties when players are taking actions simultaneously, which is not all that common, actually. So it's really interesting that there's basically no first player in this game. So we'll set up the green player's tokens. We'll put that Grande worker there. Get the little workers here. And we just set up the victory point tracks as well. And we can see here that Mesoat has a lot of, and this is on his advanced side, he's got a lot of culture and money to gain, but he's really not all that into the military side of things. So I guess that's a good thing. But it just means that the style of the game that you're playing and the strategies you're going to employ will be subtly different each time. Each character also has one of these achievement tokens here. Oh, I can put it down here. Oh, that's the green one. That was foolish. One of these achievement tokens here, that just stays in your supply as well. You'll need that later to put out onto the achievement card here. How much does this look like a horrifying injury? Ah, my God! The pain! Okay, enough of that. So, with this in mind, have I forgotten anything for setup? No, I think this is all ready to begin play. The last thing players have to do is put their 2 starting workers out on the board. So, the purple markers. We've got 3 little purple tokens here. And these are going to go out in the remaining purple spaces. So, this will make more sense once I start explaining the rules, but you've got all these rows here with these spaces for timers. The timers start in the top space on each side, but the purple one has 2 extra spaces that don't exist in the green and the black area. And we're going to fill all of those up with these little purple egg timers that look like this. There's also a little gray egg timer here. And this guy is used with the timer board, which I have here in the box. So this is basically a training wheels board. You can use this to flip the timers in turn if you don't want to play in real time. And this is especially useful for teaching the game and learning the game, although I find it creates a lot of cognitive load that is not relevant in the main game. Like actually planning how to optimize the game around the way this track works becomes something players are trying to do, but in the real game you can't really do it because you're more worried about running out of time than you are fully optimizing everything. It's more a game of prioritization, which is interesting. But I can explain this. How this works will make perfect sense once you understand how the timers work in the main game. So we can mention that again later. But the last thing for the players to do here is to put their 2 starting workers out on the board. And there are basically, I think, just 2 rules when placing a worker that you have to remember. There's actually an advanced optional rule that I'll explain too because I play with it and I really like it. But when you're putting out your workers, you cannot put a common worker, that's the little one, into a space containing another worker. So the common workers can only go into empty spaces. A grande worker can go anywhere. So they can go into a space containing another worker if they so choose. And I think they kept it simple because, you know, it's real time and you can only process so much information under pressure. But I like that a lot. So in this case, we've broken the rules. Now, on the black side of the board here, there's a little symbol inside each of these action spaces, which looks like this. And this simply indicates that any amount of meeples and any type of meeple can go in here. Essentially, what it's saying is that you can put any number of workers in there and you needn't worry about who's there already or whether they're grande or not. But here's the catch. With the advanced rule, you can't put 2 of your own meeples in the space. So if you've unlocked your 2 green meeples, if you're the green player, for example, you actually couldn't put them in the same space anyway, because a common worker can't go into a space containing another worker, any other worker, grande or common. But what you could do is quite easily have your common worker and a grande worker and even a second grande worker in there if you'd unlocked your second grande worker. But with the advanced rule, only one meeple in your color per box, which I actually prefer. I like to play it with that. I find it actually makes things a bit simpler, even though it also makes things harder. So that's the advanced rule there, which I will be employing in my solo game, which I'm going to get to. So that is, I think, everything what we need to be thinking about during setup now is those rules. So there is, I think, an advantage into... So we could put a worker down here if we wanted as the blue player, but if the green player also wanted to go into there, well, they've got privilege. Sorry, blue player, you're going to have to do something else, or you're going to have to put in your grande worker. I seem to have already broken my own rule of taking the meeples out of the supply. And we'll say then that we're going to put this grande worker down here. Nope, here. And also we'll put this one in here. It's just for the sake of example anyway. So there you go. Now, what we can do is begin the rules explanation of the game. I'll just take a quick break to say hello, Jonathan. Thanks for joining me in the chat. And Elias, hello, how you doing? Haggers, you know, the only rules that really exist are the ones that I make up to benefit me when it suits me. Jonathan, Jonathan says he's heard mixed things about this game, and I can understand why you would hear that. I think it's a divisive game, and we will get to some chat about it after the solo game, and everyone has a bit of context for the chit-chat. But in the meantime, let us talk about the rules of the game. So, the winner will be the person with the most victory points. Go figure. The game is 4 rounds, and the rounds are actually tracked by the achievement deck here. In the final round, all these red cards will come out onto the board, and once the board is cleared of the red cards, which will happen at the end of that 4th round, then the game will be over, and the winner will be calculated. But the winner is calculated in there's a few interesting ways. Because of the way the game works in real time, the victory points are not as straightforward as simply whoever has the most. So let's take a look at a player board here, and I'll talk you through just how this can work. I'm going to get both my player boards up here so we can see them a bit better. Whoop. Oh, for a bigger table. I forgot to give Mesoet his starting resources as well. Look at that. Terrible person. Okay. So we've got 2 player boards here. And this camera here. I think we'll use this camera here if we can. Don't fail me now, little table camera. There we go. This'll do, I hope. So, at the end of the game, what you want to do is have everything on the parchment. Okay? So, you will advance these by gaining victory points during the game in each of the different areas. So, the red military points, the blue culture points, and the yellow money points. You'll also have to gain at some point what's called the legendary achievement. This is a one-off thing that happens one time. So this token is essentially a binary switch. Once you've achieved the legendary achievement, bing, you've got it. You don't need to worry about it. If you get to the end of the game and you haven't got it, and anyone else has it, they'll win ahead of you. You can't even qualify. So you want to do that. That's important. If everybody has achieved the legendary achievement, then the winner will be the person who has made the most progress onto the parchment. And this includes the legendary achievement as well. So for example, right now, Bulk, our character here, has 4 points because each of his tokens is in the first space of the... And by the way, I think they actually said that Bulk wasn't technically male, so sorry. Each of their tokens is in the first space on the parchment, 4 points. So that would be 5 there, and that would be 6. If no player has made all 4 tokens onto the parchment. That is to say, so anyone who's done this, if it's only one person, they win. It doesn't matter how far they've made it onto the parchment. This will disqualify you against someone who's achieved this, right? You've got to get all 4 onto the parchment to qualify. And this will still lose to that other guy, right? Because you didn't get the legendary achievement. That's binary. But if no player has all 4 on the parchment, then the winner will be the player who is who's closest with their furthest piece. So what that means in this case is that we would take Bulk's board here, we'd take a look at it, we'd see his furthest piece is 3 empty spaces away. And then we'd check over here on Mesoat's board. I'm busy just setting this up over here. I don't know how well you guys can see that, but what I don't want to do is move this camera. So we can check over here on Mesoat's board, and we can see that even though he's made more progress with these 2, and he's got 3 on the board to the 2 that Bulk has, it doesn't actually matter, because the one he's missed out on is 4 to Bulk's 3, so Bulk beats him. So that's the important thing to note. If not everyone is on the parchment, then it's your worst track that's going to count against you, right? If 2 players are tied for their worst track, for example, Bulk's got 4 on the red track now, and so does Mesoat, then we check the second track. In this case, Bulk's got 2 missing on the blue track, and Mesoat doesn't have that, so Mesoat would win this tie. So that's how the victory scoring system works. It's a little particular. It might seem convoluted compared to your normal victory point scoring methods in these games, but it's designed this way because of the way the real time works. If you have any questions, by the way, please put them into chat and let me know, and I'll get to them as soon as I can. But if we come back here, if we can determine that the winner is the person who's made the most progress, so in this case we see 4, 7, 8 victory points. And I'm just counting up here, 5, 6, 7, 8. And so if we check Bulk's, we also see that he's got 8. Now in this case, the tiebreaker would be whoever is highest on the privilege track at the end of the game. There is an advanced rule for calculating victory points as well. If you are to get to the very end of the parchment with one of your trackers here, then any additional victory points you claim on that track will be placed out with cubes like this as glory. So if I gain 2, I would put them like that. It is possible as well for me to actually lose victory points before the round is over, so I could gain 2 glory and then go down with this piece like that. But I'd still keep the glory. In the case of this advanced rule, the glory advanced rule, the tiebreaker before privilege is glory. So if Bulk and Mesoat are tied for the victory points at the end of the game, the winner would be the one with the most glory squares on their board. Glory also reduces your maximum resources, so you don't want to gain too much of it before the end of the game, or you'll find yourself in trouble when you're managing your resources. But I think I've never been close to that. Having said that, I haven't played that very many times. But that's glory for you. So if you find you're playing this a lot and everyone's really good at it, you might consider putting in that advanced rule. Whereas the worker placement advanced rule, I actually really like. So those are the 2 advanced variants in the rulebook. There's one as well for the solo mode, which I'll talk about briefly when we get to that. So how do we get these victory points is the next question on your mind. Well, we've got essentially our 4 resources that we're going to be gaining, our 3 cube type resources, and our votes as well. And during the main phase of the game, what we're essentially doing is looking to collect as many of these as possible and convert them into victory points. You can pick up some victory points directly as well. And you can even sometimes spend victory points. So there is essentially 2 main actions you're going to be doing with your workers during the game. Putting them down, triggering the action space, and then picking them up. And, conveniently, we can see these detailed on this handy dandy reference card here. So here's the catch, right? You can put them down and pick them up when there's no timer in the row, but you can only trigger the action space when there is a timer in the row. And when we talk about a row, we're talking about a sequence of these gold squares and these bottom action spaces. So we've got 2 rows in each of our 3 colored areas. Just making sure I've given you guys everything you need before I start moving on to this. I think so. Hager says, think about the purple tokens as being Parma violets, which is a candy in this country that nobody likes. Because it tastes like medicine. So, where was I at? Right. Worker actions. So, we're either putting them down or picking them up. Now, there's an extra consideration here, because if you pick one up, obviously this is irrelevant in the black section, but if I put my blue worker down there, and then green puts their green grande worker in there, because they want that spot as well, and I pick this guy back up, which I can do because there's no timer here, right? There's no timer in this row. I can't put my blue worker back in there now because there's a worker there. So there is that important consideration to take on board. The other important consideration to take on board is that when a timer enters the row, those workers are then going to be stuck there until the timer runs out. So I can't pick them back up at all. All I can do is trigger the actions. And it's worth noting that when you trigger these actions, you just move your worker down there. If there's a cost in the arrow, we have to pay it. So we can see here, get out of here, card. We can see here that we have to pay 2 coins to take this arrow. In fact, this is true in all the spaces in the purple, and green, and all the spaces in the purple area as well. 2 coins, which would mean 2 of these guys. It is possible for workers to take different actions from this square or the same action. So the action spaces are not blocked. So there's no competition to take those spaces. Gaining and losing resources is super easy. All you're going to be doing is taking them from your supply here and moving them to the supply on your board. Now you can spend them. When you spend them, you take them off this area here and put them back over here. Of course, you're doing this in real time and against the position of the timers, which is why it's difficult. If I were to pay the 2 gold to trigger that space I just took, I just take 2 off of my board here and put them over here. Now I need some more. Well, how do we gain resources? There are, in fact, just 2 ways really to gain these resources. One is this space here on the blackboard. I keep thinking like a teacher when I say blackboard. So you've got this cube here, and this means you can get 1 of any kind of resource. So when your worker is triggered into this space, take 1 of the 3 colors, put it on your player board. This is not a very efficient way to get resources, but it might help you. Come on. Come on, buddy. It might help you if you're in a bind. The other way to get resources is this flag symbol here, which refers to your income tracks. And each character has 4 of those, which we'll think about in just a minute. But you can see here there's also the accruing of votes, so that would get you 1 vote. This gets you a province, which I'll talk about as part of the income tracks, and it costs 4 military. So you can see here, this is the military symbol. And in fact, if we have a look up here, we can see this is the gold currency symbol. Note that this is the red victory point symbol. So wherever you see a circle like this, you'll gain corresponding victory points. So here you're going to get some yellow victory points, or the money victory points. And here you're going to get some red military victory points. And both are good. Oh. Come on. Don't be like that. So over here we've got the purple area, which is much the same thing. We've got the yellow and blue victory points here that are available, as well as a vote. So if you get this action space, you get 2 victory points, 1 in each color, and a vote token that you can put onto your personal board. Now we've got these banners. And here we can see the brown banner and the blue banner, and these are income banners. So let's take a look at the income tracks on our player boards. So you can see each player board has 4 income tracks on it. Now this is the experienced Mesoat income board. And you can see they're all a bit different. This is the culture symbol, by the way. This means you would gain culture cubes for your culture supply. And you can see here the money symbol again. That would give you money cubes for your money supply. On the basic side of the board, everyone has the same 4 tracks. So 2 gold in the yellow flag, 5 culture on the blue flag, 4 military on the orange flag, or red flag, and 1 military victory point on the brown flag. So on the basic side, everyone's the same, but on the advanced side, everyone's a bit different, which sort of increases the variance of the asymmetry of the advanced characters, which I like. So when you trigger the flag space in any one of these areas, so for example, we trigger this flag space here in the black area, what we're actually going to do is just gain the income from our yellow banner area. In this case, 2 coins that we'd put onto here. However, we can also gain these provinces from here. So when we take this action here, we have to spend 4 military cubes in order to do it, but we can come over here and we can take one of these province cards, which we can slot on any of its 4 sides under our player board. But we must make sure that the slot we side matches color with the row, with the column that it's in. So we can't put the blue one here. If we want that blue side, we have to put it into this column here. But the key thing is that when we trigger this space now, we're going to gain all of the income in this column. So, thus improving the efficiency of our actions that trigger columns. Those are the income actions. These are the income columns. We want to get conquering provinces to improve these columns. And there's another really interesting real-time aspect here that I'll get to in a minute as well. Right. So, you sort of understand in principle now how the game is going to function. You're going to be using the workers you have available to you when the timers are not in the row to select the actions you want. Then you're going to have to wait for the timer to be flipped into the row so that it's active to take the action. Then you have to wait for the timer to be removed from the row again so that you can collect your worker and put them back into a new action space, which might be the exact same one you just took or a different one somewhere else. But you cannot, that's illegal because there's a timer here, but you cannot put them into a row with a timer, right? So here's the other catch. All the timers have different run times. So the black timer is 45 seconds, which means it'll be able to move back and forth a lot more frequently than the green timer, which is 2 minutes, or the purple timer, which is 3 minutes. Here's the other thing. The purple timer, which is the longest timer, which, as you guessed it, means that the brown and purple income flags are the most valuable income flags on your player board. Every time it flips over, it knocks off one of these purple symbols here. So it still moves between the 2 rows just as the others do, but it moves also between the 2 spaces in each row, each time deleting one of these plastic tokens. When it deletes the final plastic token, that indicates the end of the round. The minute that token comes off the board, no more timers can be flipped. So that is, in a sense, the end to the real-time part of the round. Then, each player can continue to do things so long as they're legal based on the current position of the timers, And once everyone's agreed they don't want to do anything else, then this phase of the round will end and we'll move into the council phase. And at the end of the council phase, the whole thing will begin again. 4 times over until the end of the game. Hey Rory, thanks for joining us in chat, buddy. Like I said to the other guys, any questions, put them into chat and I will do my best to answer them. So, there are like 4 untimed actions that you can take during the round. So, untimed actions are a little bit of a misnomer because they must be taken while timers are running or after the final timer's been flipped before everyone agrees they're done and the council phase begins. So it must happen in the first phase of the game and probably will happen while the timer's running. What is my camera doing? Anyway, the untimed actions are flip a timer. So that's the really important one. The minute a timer runs out, anyone can flip it over to the space on the other side. That means that they might choose to wait if it suits them. But if it suits them and not you, or you just want to ruin their day a bit, you can go ahead and flip it the minute you see it's turned over. That also means that the purple timer can languish there as well. But what you want to be doing is flipping over these timers when it suits you. And ideally not your opponent, but honestly it's so difficult to tell whether or not it suits them at the moment that really just focus on making sure it helps you out. So flipping timers is the main untimed action. But there's a whole nother little game going on here with these stratagem cards. Remember the 4 cards we dealt at the beginning of the game? So we've got 4 starting cards, and this is the starting deck for bulk, and there are 3 cards that literally every basic character has, plus 1 slightly asymmetrical card that every character has. On the advanced side of the player board, the strategy cards are absolutely doolally. They're completely different. So these are the advanced cards for... Oh, I turned this camera off. These are the advanced cards for Mesoat, so they're just absolutely crazy. And like without that advanced player card, I could not even decipher what they did. Well, actually, that's not true. Most of them I was okay with. Some of them I was like, what does this mean? Whereas the 3 strategy cards... I've covered up my face. The 3 strategy cards for the basic characters... Everybody's got one take a cube card. Everyone's got a blue victory point card. Everybody's got a pick up a worker card. This card is so good and really strategic. This one is how you unlock your other 2 missing workers. But the cost is slightly different even for the basic characters. So there's a slight asymmetry to those. So the thing is, playing a stratagem card is an untimed action. So during the main phase of each round, you can play a stratagem card whenever you want and gain the benefits on the stratagem card. However, what's not free is picking them up. So when you play a stratagem card, you play it face down to this area of your player board here. And you immediately gain the benefits of the card. So if I play this one, I can pick up a worker from an action space where there's a timer in the row. This is super important to know how to use. If I play this one, I pay 7 military right away, and I gain one of my workers from the side of my player board that I've not used yet. And if I play this one, I just immediately gain 1 blue victory point. However, if I want to pick these cards back up, I have to pay 5 culture. And that's expensive. The only way to get culture is by triggering the blue flag. And the blue flag can only be triggered with these purple spaces, which is the 3-minute timer. So, you know, it's always a consideration. There was a sort of a redundant loop I was doing where I'd immediately start by triggering this to gain the 5 blue culture, so I could pick my hand back up right away, but my most valuable card I was then using to liberate the worker I put down there. Of course, that action gets more efficient as you improve the blue column with the provinces. So something to think about. Now, the advanced side of these characters actually changes sometimes the cost. The advanced Mesoat character, he still pays 5 culture for his. But we can see here that the advanced bulk character pays 2 red victory points to pick up his hand, which I tried playing the solo mode with him, and I was like, how do I make this work? Additionally, the advanced bulk character doesn't even have an equivalent of this card, which is so upsetting because I really came to rely on that card, which I guess is a bit of a crutch. So these stratagem cards, free action to play, untimed action to play, untimed action to pick them back up, but you must be able to pay the resource cost. So you can do that. You can think about when you're going to do that. I mean, I don't know a reason why you delay on playing the victory point card. Just play it right away and get that resolved, or play it when the minute there's a lull in the real time, or just save. I don't know. Everything, there's all these things to think about all at the same time. So you can also claim an event, right? So I claim an achievement. So we've got this little guy here, this little token on our player boards, and this little token goes out on the achievement card. Let me get these stratagem cards out of here. Show you an achievement card. This achievement card is super duper important. So another untimed action that you can do is to put your little doodad down on this card. If you want to put your guy on this card, the first thing you have to do is have achieved the resources here at the top. So you have to have 2 resources of any kind and 3 votes if you want to go down on this card. Then you gain what's underneath your achievement on that card. So in this case, you would trigger your blue column and gain your income for the blue column. But if the silver star is on the achievement card, you can take that instead. And guess what? That's super important because when you gain that silver star, then you can, oops, that's the wrong thing. You can trigger this guy. Remember the legendary achievement you need to win? That's right. So if you want to get that, you have to trigger the achievement card. I don't know what is going on with this low light environment in here, but is it this thing? Is it component camera that's having a hard time? It's not. I don't know. Anyway, if you want to get this, you have to pick up that silver star. So if only one person can claim the silver star each round, but it resets in the council phase, which we're going to talk about in a minute. But the point is, you'll have 4 opportunities to get it in a 4 or 5 player game, and 3 opportunities to get it in a 2 and 3 player game. And that's because in the 2 and the 3 player game, it starts up here and doesn't become available until round 2 onwards. But someone will take it, they'll unlock their legendary achievement, and then it will become available again on the next achievement card when we set that up in the council phase. So if you see an easy achievement card, that's when you want to go for it. But if someone beats you to it, well then they're beating you to it. And if you go for it at the same time, it'll go to whoever has privilege. So there's just a few more little things to note, I think, just some little hints and tips and bits of advice. But then we'll talk about the council phase. So here's the deal. You can't ever have more than 4 workers. So you start with 2 common workers that you need to unlock. And you unlock them by playing that stratagem card that unlocks them. In the case of Mesoat, he has to pay 3 yellow victory points to do it, which is nuts. So he's got to pay 3 yellow victory points, and then he gets to unlock 1 worker. Then he has to pick his whole hand back up again and do it again if he wants to get the second worker. And there is 1 grande worker that you can get as well. But when you take the grande worker, and we'll discover how to do that in the council phase, you replace one of your common workers, and that common worker has to be one that you have. So if all your common workers are on the board, you got to replace one that's on the board. Just keep the grande in the exact same position. And the one you've replaced, wherever it's come from, goes back in the game box, and you won't be using it for the rest of the game. So the important thing to note is that there are 5 meeples in each color, but you can have a maximum of 4 workers at any given time. Rory, the funny thing about this game is, yeah, as I'm explaining it up front, it seems like there's a lot of mechanics. But when you're actually carrying it out, it's really not too bad. But I think that's a lot of games, really, isn't it? The upfront explanation always seems harder than the actual gameplay. The thing is, because this is a real-time game, I can't really explain it as I'm playing it. I'm also bad at that anyway. I think, as we've seen from the live streams, I tend to get too engrossed in playing the game, forget to explain what I'm doing or why. So, other little hints and tips. The minute you pick up the egg timer, sand timer, that counts as it having moved the row. So if someone's going for their worker here, or they're thinking, I'm going to grab that worker in just a second, and you grab this, oh, too late. Even though you haven't put it down here, it now counts as being in this position. And like I said before, if there's ever sort of a tie of people, like for example, if two people are down here and they both take the old province action at exactly the same time, then whoever gets to choose the province first would be the person who is higher on the privilege rank. Incidentally, once you start buying these provinces, you don't have to replace them. So if you take the province action to buy a province here and slot it onto your player board, you don't have to replace them. They will be replaced whenever someone chooses to do it. That's an untimed action. So as an untimed action at any time, you can flip over these provinces. So if you buy one, you can replace it and be nice, or you can make someone else do it because you don't care to. You're in a rush. So replacing the provinces, that's an untimed action as well. I think I got them all. Flip the timer, play the stratagem cards, pick up the stratagem cards, claim an achievement, set out new provinces, and the final untimed action is call the council. That's when the purple timer's in the final position and everyone agrees the round is, or the phase is finished. So, last little thing is actually to do with the color of these province cards here. You might be thinking, I see 4 different province colors. Ooh, sugar. What have I done? The street. Am I back? I think I'm back. Apologies, everyone. I think I just... Yep. OBS had a little oopsie, but don't worry. It seems to be working again correctly. So let's just check out those province colors. So what I have done is deleted my thing here, though. Where'd it go? Bear with me just a moment, please, folks. Right. And we're back. Okay. So we can see here the 4 provinces, and each province has a different color on it. So essentially what you'll find is that, for a start, the brown column almost always has victory points on it. And remember, when you pick this up, you have to put it under the correct colored flag. So you choose an orientation and then put it under your player board so that it's in the correct column. So you can't take the nice symbols and put them in the yellow column, because that's the easiest to trigger, unfortunately. Heger says, 1 hour before the first streaming glitch. Yep. It had to happen. At least it hasn't been a catastrophic failure this time. Not that that would ever happen to me, because I'm very professional and good at this. But seriously, so the purple color on this actually means that the primary income for the 3 banners is votes, because those are the purple colored resource. Remember? So, and you can see here they're actually directly correlated to the ease with which you can trigger each banner. So yellow is the easiest banner to trigger, so you get 1 vote. Red is the second easiest, so you get 2. Blue is the penultimate hardest, so you get 3. And brown still has a military victory point on it, because brown is a hard one to trigger. This one's red, because it gives you red victory points, or a red resource if it's on yellow. This one's yellow, because it gives you a money victory point, or money. You'll also find that there's a blue province color, which I should have had on it. Here it is. So the blue one gives you culture or cultural victory points. And the green ones, they're a mix of everything. So the green ones tend to be, I mean, typically, the resources associated with each color. So you can see here money in the yellow red flag, military in the red flag, culture on the blue flag, and red victory points on the brown flag. The reason the brown flag tends to be red victory points is because this kind of represents conquering the provinces around Aeonia. And so one of the best ways to get red victory points is actually to amass provinces and trigger the brown area for that victory point income. And I'll explain a clever trick about that in a minute when we get to the council phase. Because what you're probably thinking is, why don't I collect all the provinces and get tons and tons of income? And that's a good thought, and you should probably do that. But let's talk about the council phase. Why have I lost my table camera? Uh-oh. Has the glitch killed my table camera? Oh no. Oh no. Yep, this seems to be gone. Okay, everybody hold tight. 2 seconds. I'll be right back. It's all right. Hello. Welcome. I believe this is now working again. Please let me know in the chat. I hope this is working again. So, what we've got here now is my table camera as returned, and we can go through the council phase. So, where's my council phase doodad? Yeah, thanks, Haggers. So, what we've got is this guy. So, you can see here that the council phase, it first says set privilege order. So the first thing we're going to do is rejigger the privilege tokens up here to see who is now going to be the head of the council. And there we go, that's a bit more focused over there, isn't it? This is all about who has the most votes. So all those purple candy tokens we're collecting that were making Jonathan hungry, everybody discards them all. Get them all off your player boards, get them out of here, and count up who has the most of them. And whoever has the most of them will get to be the first in the privilege slot up here. And then second place goes here, and third place goes here. If there's a tie, swap the two people who tied, so someone doesn't hold the same position indefinitely. Then, the second part of the council phase is gain rewards. So everybody's going to get a reward based on their position on the achievement track here. So we'll have a quick look at what's available. We've got a thing in a way. Get out of here. It'll also be quiet. So you can see if you were in first place, you get a blue card and 2 victory points, any combination of your choice. So you can have 2 red ones, or a red one and a yellow one, whatever you like. 2 victory points. Second place, card and a victory point. Any one of the 3. And last place, 1 card only. That's when we're going to use this board over here. So, you can choose your card from the selection available. Now, this is printed on the board because it's always available. This one here is how you unlock your Grande Worker. So if you choose this reward, you will take your Grande Worker that's positioned above the board, and you'll add it to your pool and replace one of your common workers who will be removed from the game. And he'll go wherever that common worker was. So if it's on the board, put it on the board. If it's not, it's not. Now, at the end of the... let me finish this explanation first. If someone takes this, it's flipped over, so only one person can have it per council phase. Then there are the 5 here, and you can choose any one of those. So you can have a coin or spend 2 culture to pick up a dude out of order when the timer's there. The important thing to note is this little symbol up here. If you see the sun symbol, it plays exactly like a stratagem card that you start the game with. So you'll add it to your hand of stratagem cards, and you can play it along with the others and pick it back up along with the others. If it has the lightning bolt, it has an immediate effect. So you'll gain whatever's on the card and then discard it to a discard pile, put it back in the game box, whatever. The one exception is this one you can see in front of us. This one goes on the table in front of the player who took it, and I will explain how it works in just a moment. But once everybody's got their new cards, either adding them to their hand or gaining the benefits and then discarding them, we'll move on to the next step of the council phase, which is check max provinces. So, if you've been quietly collecting every single province in the game over the course of the main phase because you want tons and tons of resources, now I'm afraid you're going to have to discard some provinces. And I'm just going to set up an example. Oh, shouldn't do that. Camera on my head. You know, so here we can see that Balk has managed to accrue 3 blue provinces, creating an incredibly nice income whenever he triggers his blue column. He's going to get 8 culture points, 3 money, and a red victory point. Unfortunately, at this part of the council phase, he's going to have to check max provinces, which is 2. So he's going to have to get rid of one of them. He can choose which one he wants to get rid of. And he only has to do it now. So what that means is he could cleverly be gaining the profit from all 3 of these for the main round, the main phase of the round, but he only has to discard down to 2 in the council phase. Unless you have this card, in which case you can have up to 3. So that's pretty good. Stop it. So here's the thing to think about, though. Because of the way this works, what this means is that you can grab a whole ton of provinces. If you've got a big military income, and I was trying to figure out how Balk was going to get through this whole military track, you could grab a ton of these red level provinces here in the main phase and trigger this off a good 2 or 3 times. If you plan your time carefully, that is, before you actually have to discard down to 2. So again, this is all about timing to make sure you can profit from them before you lose them all. But after you're done discarding down to the correct number of provinces, which is 2 in each column, or 3 if you have that one improvement, then it's time to just do a little bit of round setup, which means that we're just going to take any of the council cards here that were not collected, and we're going to discard them. We're going to flip over the yellow one if it was chosen, and populate the remaining spaces with new council cards so that we're ready for the next phase. Then what we're going to do is we are going to check the provinces. So if any of the province spots are empty on the board because people were picking them all up during the main phase and not replacing them, then we'll turn over 4 new province or any necessary new provinces here from the province deck to make sure that those are all available as well. And then what we're going to do is we're going to change the achievement. So we'll just flip over the next card from the top of this deck, face up here. Note that if the silver star was here because you're playing a 1, 2, or 3 player game, that star now also becomes available for play in the actual game. So put that down in the middle there. And the first person to unlock this achievement, if anyone does, can collect it and unlock the legendary achievement. Then the last thing that you're going to do is replace the purple timers. So it should be noted that the egg timer, the sand timers, have not moved from the positions that they were in. Okay, so wherever they were at the end of the last main phase, they've remained there and they stay there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have a sort of optional mini setup where we can, kind of like at the beginning of the game, and that's the last part of the council phase there, you can see place and or move people. Thing is, you can't pick them up if they're in a row with a timer. That's still legit. So, I mean, that's still illegal. So we could pick up this guy if we're the blue player and move him, but we can't pick up this guy because we can't do it. There's a timer there. But we can either keep him here on our player board, or we can decide where we want to put him, like here, for example, which means we're in a good stead to trigger that action space the minute the round starts. Because once everyone's agreed that they've put out the workers that they can, where they want to, we can begin the next main phase by flipping all 3 timers. And let me think if there's anything else to go over. So there's no endgame scoring as such, but when you get to the final round, you will get into these 5 cards here. And in the final round, you can actually skip most of the council phase. I think that, yeah, once you've gained rewards for the votes, and that means everyone's picked their card as well from the council board, then the game is over. Whoever's achieved the victory will be crowned the victor. And you've got these red cards here that are going to come out at the end of the game. And let's have a look at them. Get out of here, these ones. So these are a bit special. They're in every game as well, so it's worth being aware of them. But essentially they sort of allow you to get extra victory points and things like that if... Oh. I thought I was looking at them. So you can see there's an opportunity here to spend some leftover resources to purchase 3 victory points of that type. You can take one card that gives you 1 of each, or if you've completely failed to get the legendary achievement, you have one last chance to do so by spending 10 resources in any combination to pick up that last legendary achievement that you've missed somehow. But that was very irresponsible of you, and you should have known better. Right. Chat. I'm going to begin in a minute the solo. I'm just going to clean up my table here, so we'll go to main camera. But if you have any questions, anything I've missed, please let me know now so that I can correct this oversight. But yeah, I mean, it's sort of a lot of it seems like a lot up front, this game, but it's actually not too bad. Like once you're playing it out, like I said, I played it like 2-player just once, and I was concerned actually that it wasn't going to have enough replayability, and it wasn't until I tried the advanced characters in the solo mode that I thought, oh, this is where the replayability is. And I liked it as well because it really felt like if you had practiced the game and you were really good at it, then it would be, the skill curve would preclude people who hadn't played before, which would be a real shame, I think. You know? Oh, the little doodad. And yeah, I think once I start, well, I'm going to do my best to sort of demonstrate as I go. But if you were playing with new people as well, and you were worried about the demonstration, the real-time stressing them out, you can use this guy. And essentially what this does is it actually just instructs you when to flip the timers. So when the first round begins, you'll put your little gray dealy bop here, and then flip all the timers, and then everyone will do all the actions that they want to do. Once again, breaking ties based on privilege and all that kind of stuff. And then once everyone's agreed they've done all the things they want to do, which in the first round of the game will be almost nothing, you will then advance the little gray guy to the next level here, and then you'll flip the black timer and do that twice before flipping the green timer, and then the purple timer and the black timer down here, and so on, until you get to the final flip where they're all flipped over, and then you call the council. And this works out being mathematically about equivalent to the flips you should have. But of course, in the actual timed game, there is the flip timer action, because timers are flipped when as an untimed action when people want to do it, not according to a chart or when they run out. But this is just a way of sort of teaching people how to use the game. But we actually found it was simpler to just play with the timers and learn that way than to use this timer track, because this just led to people trying to optimize stuff that they wouldn't be able to optimize in the main game anyway. Okay. Get out of here, that thing. But that's how you use that. So now I'm going to clean up my board. Oof. It's like I said, a really sort of intriguing puzzle, this game. And the Automata, I think, is actually quite good at simulating the experience you have when playing with other people. So, I mean, it's definitely like there's an element, I think, there's difficulty levels in the solo play, so you can play on different difficulty levels, and I think there's about eight different difficulty levels. Plus, there is I played on level something, and I basically tied, actually, with the Automata, and we had to go to tiebreaker, and then I lost. But I was also playing the advanced bulk character, which I'm not going to play on stream because it's too much for my poor little brain to handle. But yeah, that was. But I think it does a really good job of simulating the actual real life experience. But the thing is, as well, what's crazy about playing this game in real life is that you just kind of have to trust people not to make mistakes and not to cheat, because there's no way you can audit what they're doing while also playing the game yourself. It's completely simultaneous, which means there's no downtime at all, which is nuts. That's why I said the time on the box might actually be really accurate, because there's literally no downtime. But, if you're the kind of person that needs to know what everyone else did all the time, you can't play it. You just have to trust them to be playing correctly and fairly and following the rules. But to be fair, if they're not doing that, why are you playing games with them? Don't be a cheat. I mean, everyone makes mistakes. You might make a mistake that'll be to your advantage, but you'll make many more mistakes that'll be to your disadvantage. In this game, that's mostly what this game is. I had like a common worker I put down in one of our games, and I forgot to move him for like the whole game. This mic is a lot quieter. Interesting. Let me just double check something here. It shouldn't be. Maybe I've just reduced the volume of my voice. I can make the mic louder. I hope I just didn't blow anyone's eardrums out. But I think I just quieted my voice down because I've been talking for an hour and a half straight, and my voice is getting a bit rusty. But is anyone excited to try Pendulum, having seen this rules explanation? I hope it's been useful. Please do let me know any questions or anything, any thoughts in the chat while I just get this set back up. But I shall play as Blue for this solo mode, and I shall take a basic character that I have not tried before. Which basic character should I be? So many choices. It is an interesting game. And I'll do a little rundown of my thoughts on it after the game, but like I said, I cannot deny that it is interesting, unusual, not sort of strangely familiar in the sense that it's got workers and worker placement and resource management and cards that you play and all of that kind of stuff. But then it's got no turns, no first player, everything's simultaneous. You can't possibly look at what your opponent's doing really. You can kind of scan their board and be like, oh, you need yellow points. Maybe I can try and prevent that. I don't know how. So it's sort of like you know, and then you can, the provinces in particular, what I was talking about, how you can spend a round like just massing up those provinces in one column, but then you have to make sure you can trigger it so you get an advantage of it before the council phase comes around, you have to clear it. Like, that's a mechanic that essentially relies on the real-time element, and you're using that to your advantage. And that's really interesting. I'm really glad that they did that, because, you know, it would be a shame, a missed opportunity, I think, if they didn't use the real-time element to create that kind of challenge. You know, if they just kind of relied on the sort of the, like I said, it's not a, or like I said, I think the designer said this actually, it's not a game that you're just purely playing against the clock, right? It's all about how you prioritize the actions that you're doing to get the most out of them. And then there's also this element of playing against the clock, and I think particularly, I mean, it does definitely have that feeling of sort of like fun stress that you get from these kinds of real-time games. You know, that's definitely present. Right. Who shall I be, chat? I can be... So I've played Drenkir the Tyrant, who amusingly, I think his name is misspelled in the... This is the advanced side. We're not playing with him. I think amusingly his name is misspelled in the rulebook. So we're not sure if he's Drenkir or Drenker. But I played him once before, so I probably won't pick him. We've got Lichinia the Implacable. We've got Gamble the Briber. And we've got Bulk the Warmonger, but I already played him. And we can also be Mesoat the Justicar, who looks pretty angry and apparently likes to gain culture. Yeah, so give me a little lead on who you think I should be. And in the meantime, let's get this board out over here. Oh, that's not going to work. I need more space. Get out of here, little camera. You go stand over there. I need a bigger table. If you make board games tables and would like to sponsor my show, please let me know. Okay, and then we're going to put our character over here. Casting a vote for Gamble. Gamble the Briber. Do you know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of Vega from Street Fighter, you know? I always liked Vega, but I was just terrible at Street Fighter. Didn't matter who I played. Right, we do not need all these little resources for the green player, though. Put those back in the starting spots, which is always the top spot. So if you're just joining me in the live stream, I've just finished going over all the rules for the game. I'm now going to talk just briefly about the solo rules, which are fairly simple, and then we'll begin the solo playthrough. And finally, everybody who is like, what is this game, will figure out how it works. So I think we'll make one of the automata green and the other automata orange. So without any further votes, y'all were too slow. We're going to be Gamble. So there he is, Gamble the Briber. Everyone else can go back in the box. And I will need all of my blue bits in order to play Gamble. So we've got here the automata board, for solo play. And setting this up is going to be critical to how we set up the solo game. But, oops. Basically, what we're doing is we're simulating a 3-player game. So we're going to set up a 3-player game more or less as normal, and then set up this board as well. And we're going to be managing these 2 AI players. I don't know why it's louder on the table camera, Hackers. I'm going to check that when we go back to table camera. But we're going to be managing these 2 AI players in real time, along with playing our own game. The good news is that they recognized that this would be difficult, so they've made these characters essentially as easy to manage as possible. Which is good news. The bad news is that they're quite talented, these characters, and they get a lot of victory points for doing nothing at all. and profiting from my efforts. So it's quite hard. But if you're going to play the solo mode, what you need is an old deco cards, which I've got here. And I'm just going to check the volume on this camera as well. Why is this loud? Why is this louder? I literally have no idea why it's louder on the table camera, guys. There is nothing here on my reading that indicates why it should be that way. They're all on the same microphone with the same settings, and I thought maybe I'd left another. I'll adjust it down slightly. So, what we've got here are all the Automata cards. So these ones here are the difficulty cards, and each one is double-sided, so there are 6 difficulty levels. Hey, Rory, thanks for that. Yeah, Heggers, just stop sitting on your volume button. Rory says that the volume is good. We've got 3 reference cards here for the Automata, and then a deck of Automata behavior cards, which we're going to use to determine a little bit of setup, but mostly their behavior during the game. So, what I shall do now is tell you how to set up the single-player game. I'm going to have a fight with this camera every time I need to do something on the Automata board. Can I just set you up? No. Okay. Don't worry about it, Haggers. If I'm teasing you, it's only because... Oh, what have I done here? I've messed up these baggies. Oh, please tell me I haven't. Okay. Right, so set up the main game board and the player board as normal, as though you're setting up for 3 players. I've left my guy up there. You're going to need all of the Grande pieces, so all of the Grande workers from each color to set up the Automata mode, but you also want to pick 2 of the other 4 colors. So you pick 1 color for yourself, and then out of the other 4 colors, you pick 2 main colors for the Automata, and you pick the other 2 colors just for their Grande workers, because we're literally just using those to basically block off spaces. How have I messed up these baggies so much? Right, I just need to get my tokens in order, or else I'm going to be crying all the way through the solo playthrough, because I'll be cheating. Alright, so I get to start with 6 tokens here on that board. So it seems Gamble the Briber starts with a ton of money, and that's about it. I'm also going to need my stratagem cards for him, which are here. I have not reset those cards with the 10 we deleted earlier, because I think that that's fine. We don't need to reset up the whole game here. And here are his stratagem cards. I'm betting he needs yellow money, either resources, yellow resources, or yellow victory points in order to unlock his additional workers. What do you reckon? Yep, look at that. He needs 7 money if he wants a worker. So we're going to be needing lots and lots and lots of money. Alright, the other cards should be the same, yeah, because these are fairly symmetrical for the basic characters. Okay, so we've got here some difficulty cards, but for setup, we're going to put 1 common worker. How do you feel as compared to... Sorry, Rory, I'll get to that question in just a minute, once I've gone through these rules. But what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to pick a character color for each of the Automata. So we're going to go with green, and we'll put 1 down here on Automata 1 to show that he's green, and the other one will be orange. Where did I put the orange pieces? Here they are. And we shall give him a little orange worker there to show that he is orange. We're going to take the achievement tokens and we're going to put them here because they're going to be victory point counters for the Automata. We're going to decide what scoring difficulty we want to play on. The game recommends starting on difficulty B, so they go up. The letters go up as you proceed through the alphabet, they get harder up to F, which is the absolute most hardest one. Oh, cool. That's just deleting the top row there. But basically, these are going to... The bottom track is rounds. So you see round 1, 2, 3, 4. And then above it are the things they get in each round. In this case, victory points, 5, 9, 17, and 32. That's in addition to bonus victory points they can get. And the top row that's faded out is votes. So every round they're going to get votes and victory points, and they'll get more based on the difficulty card available in the game. So I'm probably going to play on B, because the last time I played on B I didn't win, but I was on an advanced character. So, and it was very close. We went to tiebreak. What do you think, chat? B or C? Let me know in the comments while I go through the rest of this. So, anyway, you'll pick a scoring card to put out there based on what you want the challenge level of the game to be. And you also want to put aside 2 grande workers that are not in use on the board. I'm going to use the black ones here because they're not really all that important. We're just going to put these out here like this. And like this. Actually, do you know, we can also put them above the achievement boards, because these are going to be used to represent them taking grande workers from above the achievement board, and they'll be slid into this yellow box at some point. But the important thing is that there's not one there, and then later on there will be one there. And I'll explain how that works in their behavior in just a minute. But let's go back up to here. We can actually also leave them here because they are basically linked into this card here. Sometimes the AI will steal that from you, and it will steal it if there is a worker not in the golden box. Hager says C. Very well then. Let us play on C, so my victory will be ever sweeter. Okay. So, we can, like I said, we're setting up a 3-player game as normal. I'm going to collect these workers here back in because what we're doing is, those were set up for the 3-player game. Don't need these guys. What I do need are the white grande characters as well. Where'd they go? Hey there. Okay. So these are basically just blocking off spaces on the board, making our life more difficult and unmanageable. I've got all my baggies in a tiff. It's board gamer hell. Right. What we're going to do is we're going to put a grande worker into each of the bottom rows on the player board to show that those are occupied. Then what we're going to do is we're going to draw a card off the top of this behavior deck for the purple zone. And if it shows the worker movement symbol, which I'll explain in a minute, we're going to put, it's going to determine which box we put it in. I just wrote it down here actually. So I would remember the purple one is the small box and the green one is the big box. Okay, so let's have a look and see what we got. We got the green one. That's a green box, which is why you can't see it. So that just means that for the purple area, we're going to put this guy into the big box. And we got another green one, so this one's going in the big box as well. If we'd, I'm going to show you here. If the little man at the top had been in the purple box, then we would have started this guy off in the little box here. What these grande workers are doing is acting as the other 2 players, making our placement of meeples much more difficult. They will move around based on these cards once we start playing the game. So, what have I missed for setup? Well, I think that's it actually for setup. It's fairly straightforward. We've set up a 3-player game. I haven't reset this, and I haven't reset this. We're going to just reset the achievement deck here, and because it's a 3-player game, the silver star will start on top of the achievement deck. So I'll put one card out there, but we cannot get a legendary achievement. Note that we still need a legendary achievement to win the game, but the automata don't, which is making them total jerks. We're actually going to have to work very hard to get our legendary achievement in this game, and if we don't get it, we will probably lose. Then we're just going to take these and randomize the order on the privileged track. So unlike in the 2-player game, where the fake player starts at the bottom, in the solo game, just randomize all 3. So orange on top, then me in the middle, and then green on the bottom. It hardly matters in this stage. The only time, because you can't tie with the automata for any actions, so the only time privilege is important is for tie breaking at the end of the game, and also for ties in vote counts when redetermining the order. So if I tie with green, we'll swap. If I tie with orange, we'll swap. So I'm going to give this deck another good shuffle. I'm going to put it down here like this, and I'm going to talk you guys through how the automata behavior works. Basically, each one of these behavior cards has 2 sides. Let's bring up one card. Oh, this is a terrible example because it's blank. Oh my god. That would have been a great start. God damn it! All the blank cards are on top. Well, it wouldn't have made for a very exciting stream, I think. Here's a good one. So, what you can see here is a card with a bunch of holes in it, but primarily what we're looking at is that there's 2 sides. On the left side, we've got 6 symbols, and on the right side, 3 symbols. The right side only applies to the council phase, and the left side only applies to the main phase. So, we're going to draw one of these behavior cards in 2 different moments during the game. We're going to draw them either when we pick up a worker from an action space. So if we've ever triggered an action like I described previously, so we're down here and we pick up our worker from the bottom part of the row, then we will trigger the flipping of one of these cards and activating the symbols on it. Alternatively, if the purple timer has run out and is no longer running sand, and we flip over a black or green timer, we will also draw one of these behavior cards and trigger it. And this is particularly important given the bottom 3 squares on the card. I hope you can see that there's a little divider. It might be easier to see if I put it over here. I'm just trying to look and see if there's something useful I can use to help indicate what's going on this card, because the green screen's dropping the colors off of it. Is this any better? No, not really. I was hoping I could... No. Never mind. That's not how green screen works. So, basically, if you see the top part of the card, that means when you activate the card, that means move the workers. So in this case, we've got a black meeple in the purple section. That means we're going to move the workers in the purple section of the board. If that black meeple was in the green section, the invisible part next to it, then we would move the meeples on the green section of the board. Note that there's no meeples in the black area, because that's free placement anyway. There's never any contention for these spots, so there's no need to put automata meeples down here. If it says move the purple meeple, essentially what we're going to do is when you move a meeple, you always take the leftmost meeple in the row with the timer and move it to the empty spot. So in this case, we would move this guy over here. And if it triggered again, we would move him back. But likely, the next time it triggers, this will be down here, in which case we would take this guy and move him up here. So we're always moving the leftmost meeple in the row with the timer to any empty spot. So then, the next time, this guy would move along here and back here, and so on. And similarly, over here, this guy would move to here and back to here, and as the timer moves down here, the next time this guy would move up here and this guy would move over here. So you get a little bit of rotation as well as the timers go around. So there is a handy little dandy little chart here showing how the meeple movement works, but yeah, the leftmost meeple moves to the empty space available. The bottom part shows you is telling you to flip the timers. So If the purple timer has run out, flip it. If the purple timer has not run out, flip the other timer indicated. So this one indicates the green timer. So we check the purple timer, and if it's empty, we flip it. If it's still running, we'd flip the green timer. If that's still running, we can ignore these symbols. Sometimes the black timer is indicated instead of the green timer, but that might flip them over if, when you don't want them to be flipped. So you have to think about that. What we've also got is this other row, which is for the council phase. So in the council phase, essentially what we're going to be doing is competing for votes with the automata, and also we're going to be awarding them victory points. So the automata have to get onto the parchment just like us. Incidentally as well, if the automata ever trigger the purple timer to move into a spot containing a purple thing, so they'll never trigger it the first time, because the first time it's flipped, it'll hit one, and the automata didn't do that, so that's fine. But there are two remaining things, and if they're triggered because a automata card told you to flip the purple timer and you had to do that, then you take the little purple one and you put it into the time marker slot here on their board. And I'll leave that there to explain this example now. So when you get to the council phase, what you do is you take 3 of the automata cards from the deck and you put them here next to each automata. So these ones belong to automata 1, and the bottom set will belong to automata 2. And I'm going to move my head in a minute so that you guys can see the board. But what we're looking at here are these elements, these different rows, and so the top part is the number of votes they're going to get this round. So you total up the votes, so we see 1, 3, and 4, so that's 8, plus the round number on the difficulty card. So if this was round 1, it would be 8 total votes for automata 1, plus 1 for each time marker down here. So that would be 9 total votes for automata 1. If we were in round 2, they would get a total of 13 votes. And automata 2 has 4 in round 1 and 8 in round 2. And so that's how we'll calculate the privilege for the round. If the automata ever get victory points, they gain victory points on this track here, and I'll talk about it in a minute, but they might get a couple of points for their privilege, and they're about to get more victory points as well. They're also going to be deleting cards from the board. So this little track along the bottom here shows what cards they're going to delete from the council row. And we don't want them to delete the cards we want, but sometimes they might do that. So they're going to go along here in reading order, left to right, English reading order, and they'll take the card with the symbol shown. So if this card is available in the tableau, they'll take it away. This guy actually has 2 of the same symbol. And then he'll proceed on to the third here, which is the Grande upgrade. So they'll take the Grande upgrade if they don't yet have a Grande in their golden box. What that means is that essentially they'll take the Grande figure you put out earlier and put it here into the golden box on the automata board. Then, if they've got one there, they won't do it again. And this is sort of like representing them, they might be ahead of you. So if you want to guarantee that you're going to get that piece, you need to get enough votes to be first priority. But if they can't do any of these 3 things, then they'll just gain another victory point. That's what this represents. Oops. And then the second one will do the same thing, and we'll be doing these in privilege order. So if I have first choice, I'll get my first choice of card. If I have last choice, 2 cards will be gone potentially. Or they'll have just gained victory points, but chances are they'll have stolen some of my cards. And then they'll gain victory points as well. And they're going to gain victory points equal to the sum of the victory point symbols in the middle plus the round. So for round 1, they're going to get -1. So both are actually going to get 2 victory points plus 1 for the time marker. So they'll both get 3. Hope that makes sense to everybody. 3 for the sum of this plus the time marker, -1 for the round counter. It would be 5 in round 2. So how do they get victory points? Well, they don't actually care about what kind of victory points they get. They only get one type. So whenever they get victory points, whether it's through the privilege award or the victory point reward that they get every round, which we just saw, they'll just advance along here. So they'll just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If they get 5 victory points, if they get one, they'll advance another one, and so on. And they go from left to right again before they drop down a row. So he'll go all the way to the end, and then he'll drop down and come back to here. And of course, they get onto the parchment. In order to win, they want to get onto the parchment, just like you. And if you're playing with the glory advanced rule, then you can use the green spaces to represent glory cubes so they can gain more victory points. It does say here that it's recommended you don't use the glory advanced rule on difficulties D through F. Chances are, on this difficulty level, we're not going to get that far. I'm probably not going to get any glory, so I don't think we need to worry about that. Their score in victory points is equal to the number leftmost of their piece. So, for example, if we're here, they've got -10. If they're here, they've got -9. So if they're, here, they've got 5 victory points, even though they're a couple beyond it. So you don't actually count up the exact amount. Their points are just equal to the leftmost value next to their piece. I think, or it could be rightmost. Let me double check that. I hate to get this wrong. But pretty much sure that that's it for... Oh yeah, one final rule at the end of the game. Never mind. So, if they're on the parchment, then their score is just equal to the actual number of spaces. So in this case, the score would be 7. If they're not on the parchment, and if you've got everything on the parchment and they're not on the parchment, you win. If you're also not on the parchment, you work out your worst column, just like in the single-player game, and then compare it to the rightmost symbol next to them. So in this case, they'd be on -2, and I would hopefully be closer than that to the parchment, but in my worst column. But we'd have to see. Yeah. In my solo games, no one made it onto the parchment. So, there is one last thing to talk about, and that's the red cards. If you remember those from my rundown earlier, there's the victory point cards and all that. We can get to that at the end, but basically the Automata will do their absolute best to try and make your life a misery. So they've got actually the let's get this out of here. This is going to be difficult enough without you in my way, buddy. With the red cards at the end, basically they're going to take the card that shafts you the most. So if you don't have the legendary achievement, they'll just take that. They don't have any resources to pay, so they don't need to worry about it. They'll take the legendary achievement. If they can't take the legendary achievement or you already have it, they'll take the one for the row that you're furthest away on. So they'll just steal that instead. So they're basically always going to take the card that shafts you the most. The only one you're guaranteed to get is this one on the end here, the bonus victory point. But so if you don't have the legendary achievement going into the final round, you want to make sure you have the most votes so you can buy this red card. With that in mind, I think we're ready to start the solo playthrough. There's only one T in Automata, by the way. Oh, it's Automa in this version, yeah. I keep saying Automata, but it's Automa. So here we go. We'll put out some achievement cards. There's a vote card. There's a cheaper province card. There's a pick up a man card. I want that one. There's one of those. And one of these dealy bops too. And this comes up here. And that goes back in there. And I think we're all ready to start the game. Okay, so... Hey, Selkath. Just in time to see me start the actual gameplay. By the way, this is real time, so I'm going to do my best to explain what I'm doing as I'm playing. But also it's real time, so you'll probably just see a lot of furious, sort of stressful flipping of things. There might be some pauses, because the game naturally does have some pauses as you're waiting for a specific timer to run out, or something like that, in which case I can fill in the blanks on why I'm waiting and what I'm doing. But I will do my best to keep you guys informed about what's going on. Yeah, Jonathan, he's a big fan of my show. He's always watching, so he's going to be yelling at his screen. It's Automa, which I believe is because the first ever solo mode they developed was for Viticulture, which is an Italian game, so they used the Italian word Automa instead of Automata, which is what I've been saying. Right. So, I need yellow victory points. None of these have yellow victory points on them, and I'm sad. Let's see if we can get this camera back up, because it might get a decent... Stop it. I actually took the mic off the table, because every time I dropped this camera, it was like the mic was having a bad time. So now it's just sort of over there. But I'm just trying to get a sort of a view where you guys can see the sand timers sort of a bit more. But I'm not really succeeding, I'm afraid. Alas, if only the background wasn't this horrible mess of lights and cameras. It could be a nice gaming board, but no. Alright, that'll do, I think. There we go. This is the best we're going to get, I think. So. Okay. Now. Here's what we're doing. We're going to flip all of these egg timers. We're not going to worry about that board right now because it's the council board anyway. And we're going to oh, I gotta put my meeples out. Don't forget to do that. Incidentally, also, if you're playing the solo mode, in the council phase, as part of the reset part of the council phase, so that is when you're sort of just doing a little bit of board cleanup there, it's part 4, there's an additional step which is shuffle and reset the Automata deck. So this is always set and ready to go at the beginning of every main phase. I would also point out that if you do actually play through all of these cards in a single main phase, which is impossible, you can reset the deck. It even says that if you just reset the deck by shuffling the discard pile, but if you're too stressed out to shuffle it, it does say you can just flip it back over as long as you promise not to memorize the order. And also, if the Automata wins, you have to whisper a specific phrase, which represents the Automa. If the Automa wins, you have to whisper a specific phrase. But I'm not going to do that until they win, and then I have to do it. So, with that in mind, let's get my little guys out here on the board. I think I'm going to put... So, because I'm playing on the basic version, getting some culture down so I can pick my cards right back up is important. So I'm going to put one into here. I can't put my remaining common worker down here because there's already 2 people in those boards. And incidentally, I am playing with the advanced rule where I can't have 2 of mine in the same space. So I'm going to put this one... What I want is some red cubes. See, the disappointing thing is I can't get into here. Oh, I could do this. Ah, already the struggle is real. But what I want is actually money, I think, so I can unlock my next common worker as quickly as possible. Okay, here we go. Real-time gameplay. Starting now. So because this timer's here, I can trigger this worker and gain 2 more yellow cubes. Now, I can go up here and do this, which I'm going to do. I have to pay 2 cubes because of that. And here's a thing, and then I'm going to get 5 blue cubes. Now, you must complete a single action completely all in one go. So, these people are now locked in, and I can't do anything further till a timer runs out. This one's going pretty quickly, but I'm actually going to put down this card here so I can pick this one back up out of turn order using this stratagem card, which is an untimed action. So this one I'm now going to place up, oh no, not up there. I'm going to place here, I think, because I want more money. I want my common worker up there so I can put my main worker down there. While we're waiting, we'll put this one down here. Now that this timer's empty, I can flip it over up here. Incidentally, when I did that, I should have done an Automata card, which was foolish, but it's a blank anyway, so it's fine. Now I'm going to pick this guy up. I have to do another Automata card. So it says move the purple worker, which means do that. And also flip a purple or a green timer, but they're both running, so it's fine. I'll put him down there. I'm going to trigger this guy because the timer's there. I can grab 2 more yellow cubes like this. I can't pick them up yet, so I'm just waiting for that timer to run out. So while I'm waiting, I'll put this one down here, and I think I'll pick up another yellow cube. I'm going to put this one out to pick up another worker, which costs 7. There's 7 yellow cubes there. I can take this worker into my pool there. I'm going to put him out on the board here so I can get some more money, get my next worker. Flip this over, trigger this action here for 2 more yellow cubes. We'll pick this guy back up. We'll flip over an Automata card. It says move the purple worker, which is him into there. That's done. This guy I can't trigger yet, not till that's ready, but it's going to be ready any minute now. And we're waiting for the green timer. I'll give you guys this view here. You can't see it. My head is in the way. So the green timer is expended, so I can flip it over here. Now it's running up there. I'm going to bring this guy down here. Spend 2 of my yellow action cubes over here. I'll go back to this camera. And I can have 4 red cubes, which is good, so that I can then go ahead and get another province, which is what I want. So I should really be looking here to see what provinces I can get. I quite like these ones with votes on the red side. I need yellow victory points, but that's fine. So this timer is ready to go. So I can pick this guy back up, but I think I might just leave him there because I need more money. I've still got this Grande worker. I think I'm going to put him up here because I'm about to flip that purple timer. And I think now I can have a quick rest pause. I'm going to spend these 4 blue cubes actually to pick up my stratagem cards again anyway. This is ready to go here. So this one's going to flip over and knock that purple timer off there. And I can trigger this guy, but I might wait actually to buy a province. Yeah, let's go ahead and put this guy over here so we can get that province. Then when this flips, I can buy it, trigger that guy off, get the benefits of 2 blue levels. We can get 3 votes with that, which would be good. I think that's better than getting the extra blue cubes because I don't have as much need for those right now. This is ready to go. So we'll flip that over there. We'll go down here. We'll spend the 4 red cubes to purchase a province. I'm going to take this one here with 3 votes in the blue column. And now that's going to enable me to trigger this guy over here. So we'll go down there, we'll spend these 2 yellow ones, I'm now completely broke, to trigger this column, gain back our 5 blue cubes, and we'll get 3 purple votes here as well. Now I'm going to take some time out to spend that for a yellow cube. I'm going to spend this one for a blue victory point. I'm going to use this one here to pick up my Grande worker from here because I desperately need him back. And I'm going to put him, I think, over here in the red column, and I'll flip this over now. I should have flipped an Automata card. I've definitely probably not been doing enough of that. I'm going to pick this guy back up here and flip another. Well, they're all blank, so it's fine. This guy is going to go down here. I'm going to flip this one over here. Pick this guy up, which is another Automata card. This says flip the purple and green timers, but they're fine. I'm going to put him over here because I should have got the province. There's one of my human errors. I said I wanted a province because I'm waiting to trigger this guy and I didn't do it. But I'll trigger that instead and get this money. And now I am waiting again. I just want, I do want some more money. So now I can take an untimed action to replenish this storage here. There's no reason not to do that immediately in a solo game because I'm the only one that benefits from the information. And it's only my time I'm changing anyway. That purple time is going to go. which is problematic. I don't want it to go before I get a chance to do this guy here. I'll see if I can show you guys that purple timer. You can't see it. Never mind. Sorry about that. But I can flip this black timer here, which lets... Oh, I don't have the military! Flip! I messed up. I went for the thing. I don't have the military. So I think I'll just go ahead and... Oh, this guy's going to get me the military. What have I've been doing this all out of order. I'm going to go down here. I'm trying to get a province with the military I haven't got yet. So now I'm going to get 4 military from activating him, so I can activate this guy to get another province. At least this will help me in the future. Let's get a red one. Let's get a red one with votes on, because I like them votes, yo. Is that what we want? Red one with votes? Yeah. Okay, well, what I will do now, I think, is just go ahead and flip the purple one, because I don't want them to get more points, and that triggers the final lock step. So all I can do is pick this guy back up. These ones are locked in place with the timers. And I've really accomplished a lot less than I would have liked. But we'll see how things go in the... So I can play more stratagem cards here as untimed actions, but there's no need to. We're essentially off the time now. God, I hope that was vaguely watchable. This is good practice for when I do U-Boat in the near future. But... yeah, Haggers, it is quite rapid-paced. It's less rapid-paced when, you know, you're more sort of focused on what you're doing. Yeah, I mean, I was lucky, actually, that I got a lot of the blank cards here. But, I mean, that's sort of the nature of the game, really. I mean, I totally messed up because I sort of, in my mind, I was going to use this guy to trigger the red column, which would allow me to get the income from here. And I was going to use this guy to get another province so I could get extra income. But I needed this. And, hey, Jonathan, I mean, the thing is, you got to be easy on yourself in these kinds of real-time games. He says that, Jonathan says that forgetting Automa could be an issue. It is potentially an issue, but I think if you notice it, just flip over a card now. And if you don't notice it, then you'll never know you made a mistake. But I think, you know, it's part of the fun. To be honest, the Automa influence at this part of the game is not really all that bad. It will also definitely get a bit more complicated as if I get another meeple. Yeah. So I think we're ready to move on to the first council phase. So in this case, we're going to check the Automa's cards now. Oh, please have no votes. Please have no votes. Uh-oh. 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 So he's got 5 votes. I only have 3 votes, so I'm sad. And the other one... Uh-oh. No votes, no votes, no votes. Oh, it's a tie. I tied with Orange. I get to beat him. I get to beat Orange. I'm going to stay in the middle. Yeah, Jonathan, if you get to the point where you've missed the last 5 Automa cards, the thing is, the whole game, the solo mode, probably only takes about 40 minutes. You know, each round is realistically about 9 minutes. You don't really want to dilly-dally on the purple timer, because in the solo mode, every purple marker that you don't flip on, that their cards flip, go down here and count for votes and points for them. So you're kind of like flipping the purple, like you saw me, I was pretty on the ball with that purple timer because I didn't want them to get those extra things. And so, yeah, each round is pretty much about 10 minutes. So that's 40 minutes plus however long it takes you to do the council phase. Oh, I really hope that the green person doesn't take the card I want. I don't think they will, actually. Nope, they're not going to. Good news for me. Okay, so now that I'm going to check the votes, and the green Automa has 6 votes here, -1 for the round, that's 5, so they're going to go right up to the top. And then there's 3 votes here, -1 for the round is, oh, that's 2 votes. Yeah, I forgot it was -1 for the round. So only 2 votes for Orange, so they're going to come down to the bottom here, and I'm going to get to go into the middle. And then we're going to do the rewards for the council phase. So the green player is going to get 2 victory points. 1, 2. And they're going to get a card. And the first on their row here is the upgrade to Grande. So they're going to flip that over and grab a Grande worker and put it here into their golden box. And then it's me. I'm going to get 1 victory point. I'm going to take a yellow one because I need lots of those. And I also get a card. I'm going to take this one that lets me spend 2 military to pick up a worker out of step. I think this is probably useful. It's super useful in the single player. I don't know if it's as useful in the multiplayer, but the other really good, or in the solo mode, sorry. But good in the multiplayer. Not sure about the solo mode, but I'll put that in my hand. But I would have gone for the gold card otherwise, and I can't have it. So then it's the orange player. And they're going for some card that's not listed. This one. They're going to take this one in the end. And they don't have a hand of cards, so that's just discarded from the game. Bye. So that's rewards done. No victory points for the orange player for council rewards. But then we're going to check the victory points on their actual cards here. So we've got 3 -1 for green, so they got 2. And orange has got 4 -1, so they get 3. So they're hot on the tail of green. And both of them are, I don't know if they're nearer the parchment than me. I can't tell. So I'm optimistic. Anyway, now it's back to the round. So we check max. Provinces only applies to me. I'm fine. I've only got 2 different columns. So these two, we're onto the council phases round setup. I could have put this down here for you guys, actually. Yeah. And I'm just going to get rid of these cards here. And then I'm going to replace them from the deck. And also flip the yellow one back face up. So let's have a look here. We've got some interesting powers. We've got one power that lets you go through one of these without paying the 2 coins. That might be useful for me, seeing as how I need all those coins. Oh, I've got 2 of those. I'm going to do the provinces, but they're all already out. I got to do the card up here, the achievement card. So I want to try and get this as fast as possible, really. 8 culture and 3 votes. I can probably manage that. Second flip. So the first flip, the second flip. Yeah, if I flip over this purple timer, but the second time, and I haven't claimed this, it's cancelled in the solo mode. So I can't pick it up if I wait too long, which is awful. But I do already have 5 blue cubes. So what you guys can't see is the actual card. But this one's called Divine Favor. So the requirement here is to get 8 culture and 3 votes. And I think I can do that because I already have 5 culture. So if I get 3 culture and 2 votes, I can actually claim that. I could actually get that almost immediately because in my blue column here, I've got 5 culture and 3 votes. So if I trigger this column, I'll immediately be able to unlock this achievement. And so that's really important because, like I said, if I ever knock the second purple doodad off of the board here in the solo mode, this goes away and I can no longer achieve it. So I have to do it quite quickly. That's an extra solo mode challenge for you. Finally, I'm going to council phase replace this and this and this. I say finally, but I'm going to do the bonus step, which is, of course, to replay the Automata deck as well. Just reset it every round. And we're ready to go again. Who's ready to go again? Rory says, I like it. Certainly is unique. I've not got a real-time solo game in my collection that I can think of. I suppose one could play Escape Curse of the Temple on their own, but in fact, I'm sure you can. I'm pretty sure it says you can, but I think that'd be a lot less fun. I guess one could play XCOM on their own. I don't know actually what the player count on that is. I haven't thought about solo games till lockdown happened, and now I'm playing all the solo games. I'll tell you what I'm going to do as well, guys, if you'll permit me, is just to have a quick drink of water before I continue. Okay. And as per the normal rules, I can take my one available worker, who I should not be keeping here on the table. I should be keeping here in my worker area, and put them on the board. So we're going to flip over everything So I think I want to get them up here in this red zone here while it's available, because I just have a feeling like a little grande solo worker is going to move into there and take that spot away from me. Oh no, but I need someone on the... Oh no. Oh guys, well I can't get... Am I not going to be able to get that thing? Yeah, I don't think I can actually get the... Are there any cubes available here? Ooh. Oh, it's going to be... I don't think I'm going to be able to do it without getting some blue provinces. I've just realized my whole plan to get the purple flag, steal the thing, is not going to work because I don't have a grande worker. I can't get them on the purple board at the start because my grande worker is unavailable because he's in that row there with the green timer. Now I'm just double checking for my own edification when that thing goes away, but I'm sure I got it right and I'm just sad now. After the second flip of the purple timer, yeah. So the purple timer only does 3 flips. Oh no. Alright, here we go. I'm going to have to figure out some other way to get the 8 culture. I only need 2 more. No, I need 3 more. How am I going to get 3 more culture, guys? I'm just going to have to do these rows a lot. And if I can get this card, I could do that too. Alright, I'll find a way. Here we go. Let's flip them. Alright. So the first thing I'm going to do is pick up this guy. Which means I'm going to flip an Automata card. Which says, this one, it says delete a province. Fortunately, it's not the one I wanted. That is good. And then I'm going to pick up this guy. And I'm going to flip the green or purple timers, but I'm not going to because they're already running. Okay, so let's have a think here. I'm going to put this little guy down here because I need that province. I'm going to... I can't pay those to pick up my cards, even though I desperately need my cards. I'm going to put this guy in here. I'm going to bide my time and hope that everything works out. Start those motors running. Come on, chat. Let's bide our time. Oh, flip. We bided too much time. Okay, I can't afford that. I don't know why I put him in there. Why did I do that? I'm going to go down here to grab a yellow cube. Oh, yes, this is why. Because now that I've got the yellow cubes, I can go down here and pay the 2 yellow cubes to gain 4 of these dealy bops and also 2 votes. I should have gotten rid of these 3. That was bad admin. Now I can go down here, spend those 4 to claim this province here. And I'm going to put it down here, or put it down here actually, I think. Okay. Now we play the waiting game. The pendulum swings. I need more cards. I'm so focused on getting this legendary achievement. Flip this. Pick him up. Trigger a card. It's blank. Pick him up. Trigger a card. It says delete a province that isn't even there. And now I'm going to put out 2 new provinces. Okay. Now what I need is to trigger... I need 1 more blue... I need 3 more blue cubes, so I need to trigger this and this. I'm not going to be able to do this, guys. I'm going to run out of time, just barely. I'll flip over this guy. I've done that preemptively. I should put one of these people in that row. I'm picking him up. I'm going to flip over this card here. This says move a purple man, so he's coming down here. Gosh darn it, I should have put a little common worker in there as well. And then I'm going to flip one of these timers, but I'm not going to do that right now. I'll get this guy in here. Oh, no, I need him down here. Flip this over. Now I can trigger this, which is going to get me 2 of these. And 1 of these. I can trigger this, which is going to get me this. I can trigger this guy to get 1 more of these. I'm 1 blue cube short. The purple timer has run out. The only way... I can't get that cube. I don't think I can do it again. I'm going to flip the purple... If I flip the purple timer, I'm going to miss the opportunity to get the achievement. But if I wait too long, I'm going to miss it anyway, and meanwhile I'm stuffing up all my opportunities to get points and things as well. So I flip this timer over. Now because I flipped it and the purple timer's run out, I have to draw an Automa card. Yeah, which flips the purple timer. And the achievement goes away. Damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it. Well, I can pick this guy up, flip this over, does nothing. Pick this guy up, move the purple guy. Should have put a worker down there. Pick this guy up, flip this, moves this green guy up here. It does nothing else apart from that. Okay, well now that that's gone, I guess what I can do is pay 5 of these to pick up all my cards because I'm not using them for anything else. Okay, so we want to get this guy into here because that's going to get us some good stuff. I've got this little guy here who can come down here and down here like this. I'm going to flip this one over. I'm going to flip this one over. I'm going to trigger this guy here to gain 2 of these and a blue one. I'm going to trigger this guy here to gain a vote. I'm going to put this one down to gain a blue victory point. I'm going to bring him down here, pay 2 to gain 4 military and 2 votes. Okay, cool. We'll put this one down here, I think to gain another blue one here. And I'm going to play this one here to pick my Grande man back up. I'm going to probably try and remember to leave him in that row later, but for now let's just see if we can eke out a little bit more profit. I'm going to put him down into here like this. I'm going to flip this one over here, and then I'm going to pick up one of these little guys here and hope I don't have to move the green man. It's blank, so I can put him in here. It's important to remember. I pick this guy up, flip over the Automata card. It says move the green man, so this guy moves into here, which would block me if I hadn't already gone there. Then I flip one of these timers, but they're fine. This little guy here is going to go and get me more something. I guess I'm going to get another province, and probably a red province, because I can get some blue points there or something. I need some more yellow points as well, guys. Okay. Everything is running really, really fine. I need to have I cheated on this row? I've cheated on this row, haven't I? I'm not sure. Anyway, this flips over. Now I have to pick these guys back up. See? Mistakes. Okay, you go in here. And you... there's nothing useful I can do with it. You just wait here. This flips over. And then I flip this over, and it's over, and there's no more flipping of timers. Man, I don't know when I got mixed up about the black timer, but I think I was putting people in here while the timer was running. And I got totally confused about the order there. In any case, now I can sort of do things a bit more leisurely. But all I'm doing now is triggering off these rows, I think. Is probably... I can't even afford to do them both. I can only do one. Let's get the culture row. It's more difficult to trigger normally. I didn't have the money for both. So I can gain 5 of these guys and 3 more votes. At least I've got the votes. I've got 9 votes. That's pretty good. But I tried really hard to get the achievement there, and it just threw me off my game when I missed it. That was tough. Okay, well, I picked this guy back up. I can't pick anyone else back up, so I've just got to wait. I really wish I'd managed to unlock this guy, but I just couldn't get the money. How does one get money? Okay, so we move on to the council phase. So we can bring back up our little council bit here. Let's check votes. Alright, what have we got? We've got 1... Everyone gets a bonus 4 votes in this round. It's crazy. But I think I might still have 1. I think, didn't they also trigger... I think they triggered off a purple timer in there. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but I'm pretty sure I saw the automatic card triggered 1 purple timer, so I've put that into the box down here for them. But now I'm just working out totals. So our green automata has a total of 7, 8, and our blue automata has 10. Our red automata has 10. Oh dear. So red automata is going to the top, green is going to the bottom, and I shall stay in the middle with 9. Which is a shame because I really wanted that other Grande meeple, and now I'm not going to get him. But never mind. So we're going to do rewards, and green has got... Who's in top of me? Orange. Orange is going to take the card I wanted. And then it's me, and I shall take a province, maybe? A bonus province? Might be good to get. I think that could be good to get. I can also get a card that gives me 2 culture for victory point. I do have a lot of culture now because I was trying to get the achievement, so maybe I'll take that, see if I can get some extra blue victory points. Can never hurt, right? Well, actually, I'm only 4 away, but can't hurt. So then it is... Also, the orange got 2 victory points. 1, 2. Over to green. Green gets no victory points, and they can't get a card that they want, actually, so they will get 1 bonus victory point for being an automata from here, which you can barely see on the camera, but it's down here. So, then we're going to do their victory points, and so they've got 4, 5, 6, 7 for green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we've got 3, 4, 5, 6 for orange. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So orange still just behind. And orange did take the card I want, so I actually put this out. So I will get him next turn because neither of them can take him now, which I suppose is a good thing. Okay. And then it is just time for the cleanup. Okay, so no new councils coming out, but I'm going to put out some new achievement cards here. We've got the immediately pick up your hand, which is way more useful than it might seem. We've got the 3 province max card. We've got the convert a victory point to a different one card. 2 culture points to pick up a man. And another 3 victory, 3 province card. So maybe I could get those, and those would really help me out in the latter part of the game. That might be a strategy. I haven't actually ever managed to get one of those, so be interested to see if I can pick it up. But I'm going to lose all of my votes, which I forgot to do again. 5 votes. But I still need that legendary achievement. I either need that legendary achievement or a ton of votes in the final round and 10 resources to boot. So we'll have to wait and see if that's possible. The good news is I can also do a bit of preemptive setup here. And what I can do... Oh, and I should do this achievement card. So the achievement this round is... I don't know if that's easier or harder. It's 6 military, 2 culture, and 3 votes. Well, I definitely have the culture straight off the bat. I don't have the military. Well, I've got some military too. I'm actually the 2 things I have are culture and military. What I'm short on is money. I could use some more money, please. Please give me some more money. Ooh, money, money, money. Okay, so right, that's their deck set up. I'm going to take my little man and I'm going to put him down here. Can't trigger that till I get some money, but that's okay. I'm going to put this one down here, and this one comes from their board and goes back up here as well. Right, get out of here. Where's my achievement? Here it is. And the Divine Favor comes back. Not the Divine Favor, the Legendary Achievement marker. Back down there. Right, and we're ready to begin round 3 the minute I'm ready, which is right after I've had a drink of water. So for those of you who are sticking with us and still watching, what do you think so far? Is it followable in real time on the channel? It's a shame I can't get the egg timers to sort of run or have a clock running or something like that. But there is this sort of element of waiting for the timers to run out at the opportune moments. But of course, sometimes an automatic card will come out and ruin your day anyway. Automa card. Okay. Well, I guess we are ready to go again. So, here we go into round 3, the penultimate round. Let's flip those timers. Okay. So, I can pick this guy back up and move him now. I shall set him down over here somewhere where I can use him. I get some water on my board here. Okay, let's get a yellow one. What I really need is to pick up some military. But I'm just waiting to trigger that guy because he's not going to get me any military, and also I can't afford it. So I need to trigger this guy. Realistically, there's not a whole lot I can do right now. I can and probably should spend this to gain a victory point. Let's calm while the storm is continuing. Okay. Oh, this one's gone again. Damn it. Okay. I always relax and then that timer goes, and it's foolish of me. Okay, now I can trigger that guy, which I might as well do. No. I shall spend the 5. Ooh, what do I need? I need 6 of those, right? So I'll spend the 5 to pick my hand back up. I would have rather used one of these other cards, but I don't have time for that. So now I can trigger this, spend 2, get my 5 back, and get 3 votes as well. Okay, and now I can play this card. Well, actually, now what I'll do is I'll pick this guy up, which will reveal an Automa card, which is delete this province. That's fine. I can flip over a new one because that's my jam. I'm going to get this guy down in here because I need that before that goes again. But I'm almost ready to get the legendary achievement. We'll put this one over here, get that. We can flip this over if we want to, which we will do. This guy, I want you to go back up here. I need more money. I just need to keep you getting money. How do I get more money? Come on, come on, come on. There we go. So I'll flip this over here. Oh, sugar. I can't do that until I get this. Oh, this is going to be really tight. Which of these is going to run out first? I don't know if you guys can see down here. But, no. Oh, you can see. Oh, God. I think the purple one's going to go first, which means I need to get really lucky with this Automa card or it's going to screw me over again. Please go, black one. Go, 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 go. If I flip the black one before the purple one goes, I'm okay. If it's after, yes! Okay, we're fine. Because now what I can do is trigger this guy, get the 2 coins here, and I can get one of the I can't even get it. I can trigger this, which gets me the military for that. I have to pay the 2 yellows though. And I also get 2 votes, which is fine because now I can grab this guy, put him up here, and take this. Thank God for that. And mark that off there. Good, done. Okay, now I probably should flip that. But what I'm going to do, just in case I have a chance to cheese it here, is I'm going to play this card to pick him up, which means I have to flip an Automa card. Ah, damn it. Which flips that. And they get the purple doolally. Okay. It also moves this guy up there, which is a shame. But I think I'll put this guy into here, actually, for now. Oh, no, let me put him down here. I need a province. Flip that. Flipped it 1, then we can trigger him. And take province, and the province is going to be this one here because it's got a gold value on it, and I need that gold value. I need it. I'll pick this guy up, flip an Automa card, which is blank. That's nice. I shall put him down over here, lest I forget. I'll also pick this guy up, actually. Flip an Automa card, which just has move the green guy. So this guy moves over there. which is fine. I'll flip this over. I can stick this guy into somewhere down here, I guess. I know I want another province. Let's get another province. And I guess I'll put this guy over here for now, just in case. So I'll flip this down here. He'll get me another province. Flip, complete an action first. We'll get. I need red military as well, so we'll just grab a red military one. And then we can go ahead and pick him up, which flips an Automa card, which is blank, and he can come down somewhere to get us. Where am I going to get money? I need money. I can't do diddly squat without money. I can play this for money. Not that that's super helpful. I can play this, get 2 of these for 2 points. I'm going to get ready to flip this one over. I'll put this guy in here actually to get an extra money. So he'll come down here, get me a money. He'll come down here, we'll get 2 more monies, and we'll get a blue token. Pick him up, flips the Automa card, deletes a province that isn't there. I'm going to put him down up here so I don't miss that opportunity. Actually, I kind of want someone in there too. Probably not going to get the chance to do that now though. Actually, I can spend 5 of these, pick all of these back up, place this one, pick him up, flip a card, no effect, put him down over here. I'll play this one again for 2 as well to gain 1 more of these. I'm so good on the blue ones. Play this one, gain another money because it needs that. So much blue. Flip this over, I guess. The purple timer's out, so I shouldn't have done that. That was foolish, but it's blank, so I'm safe. I'll pick him. I won't pick him up. I'll flip this. So I can activate them at leisure. I'll flip this one too, because there's no... Actually, let's see if I can get something more out of this. Please don't flip the green timer. Ah, it flips the green timer, damn it. Oh well, never mind. That's... Oh, it can't be flipped. What am I talking about? Purple's in the final position. I'm an idiot. I pick him up, but there's not anything else I can do with him anyway. So I might as well put him down here for next round. But this guy triggers down here. Gets me 5 of these and 3 votes. So I'm on 8, which is not very good. This guy will go down here. I think I should have spent 4 of these in total. And that gets me 2 red victory points, 1, 2, and a yellow one, 1. I'm not doing super well on these victory points, guys. I must confess. Alright, and now we are done the 3rd round. So it's time to go into the council phase. And we'll do green here first. And then, oh, a lot of victory points for green. Then we'll do orange. This might be the turn where I have to take my my extra grande worker because he's so useful. I can't believe I haven't managed to get my 4th worker out. But in any case, right. So now I'm just going to reorder these. So I have 8 victory points. 8 votes. I have 8 votes. Green has got 10 votes. 11 votes actually, and orange has 12 votes, so I'm afraid I'm on the bottom. Green's in the middle and orange is on top, which is a bummer. And then green is going, and then orange is going to get their reward, which is in fact a point, and green is going to get their reward, which is one of these cards here. But there's 2. So the question is, do I take it? I didn't actually manage to get 3 provinces out, but I might do that in the final round. But then it won't matter. Yeah, I don't need that card. So green is also going to get... Did I say orange gets a point? Orange got 2 points, and then green got a point. And then it's me, and I'm going to take the grande worker because that's super useful, and I shall replace this little man here, I guess. I'll replace this guy over here, actually. go back in the box with you. And that is the end of that. Time for some victory points. This is bad. 5, 6, 15 for green. Oh my god. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Green is so close to the parchment. They're gonna be miles onto the parchment. I'm in so much trouble. Orange has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 9 is 14. Oh my god. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my god, this is so bad, you guys. It's I mean, it's fine. I just need to nail this final round, and then I'll be laughing. It'll be fine. I'm not worried. Not worried at all. Now that I've got my second grande guy, I'm basically able to fully optimize. So, you know, that's fine. It'll be fine. It's fine. It's totally fine. Everyone will get on the parchment and we'll have so many lovely points. All of my votes were basically worthless. Okay, new achievement card. So there's still value in this achievement card. Obviously, if there was other real people, they might still need it, but I can go down here and get a bunch of points. So this achievement card this round is a Champion of the People, which says if you get 3 of each, you can claim this achievement when you've done that and get 1 victory point in each category, which is good. That would be helpful right now. So I would like that. So fingers crossed I can grab that. Although I'm totally broke on money and also I have no military. So I'm unable to get into the purple spot, and I'm do you know what, actually maybe we should swap these two over. When I claimed the grande worker, swap those over so I can pick him up now, which is legal, and move him in here. If I get an extra point in there, I might be able to get some more mileage out of this. Okie dokie. I really wish I had one more worker. Oh well. Reset these. Reset the deck. And start your engines and go again. Okay. Jeez, I'm going to need to get so many points this round. It's not even funny. I don't think I can do it. This was much easier when I was playing against one real person. Automa is really good. I want to be an Automa, where I don't have to worry about points types or anything like that. I can just go for it. Get free victory points every round. Sounds nice, doesn't it? Alright. So. Here we go. Thanks for watching, Rory. Catch you later, buddy. Have a nice evening. Bam, bam. Bam. Okay, pick this guy up. Flip this one over. It says delete this, which is fine. I'll replace that immediately. Pick this guy up. Flip this one over. It says move this person over here. And then also flip a timer that I don't have to flip. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure I get this triggered. I'm going to probably put this guy in the red column up here so I can get some votes and some points. I need money though, so maybe I should really be putting them both down here for now. Yeah, I need some money to do that. Flip this over. I can't put both in the same row. I'm an idiot because that was the advanced rule that I'm playing with. So I can get 2 of these and 1 of these. So I'm not going to draw an automatic card because I can put him down. So I'm just going to hang on to him for now. Let's get him into here then. We'll put this guy down here now because we can afford to pay for him. And he's going to trigger 2 of these and 1 of these. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to play 5 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. To pick up my whole deck here. Put that one down, get another victory point. I'm going to put this one down to pick up this man here. Just going to flip an Automa card, which is move this man up here. That's a shame, and nothing else. I'll take this guy here, and I'm going to get him into here. I think I'm going to have to. Flip this one over, move him down here, gain 2 yellows and a blue. Now I'm ready to move this man into here, which is going to give me 4 of these, and also 2 votes, which is valuable. I paid for him, didn't I? I don't think I did. Okay, flip this guy, check this out. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to pick this guy up, check this out, which is also fine. Then I'm going to put this guy back up into here, I think, and then I'm going to make sure he's in there, and then I'm going to flip this one up there, but I'm going to play the waiting game for 5 seconds, 5 hot seconds. I need 1 more man. I don't have another man. Oh, I'm going to flip this over into here. I'm going to move him down. I'm going to wait on him. I'm going to pick him up, flip the Automa card, which is fine. It's going to move this guy into here. I'm going to put this guy down up here. And now no, that's not done yet. I'm going to now move him down here to get 2 of these and 1 of these. I still need 1 more vote. I'm not going to get it, which sucks. Oh, damn it. Damn it, 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 damn it. Oh, no, never mind. I don't need the vote yet. I'm going to flip this one over here. Like a nub, I don't need the vote yet. I can actually go ahead and claim this one here. I don't think that that's better, though. No, I shall flip this up here. And I'm picking this guy up, which reveals this card here. It's blank. He goes down here to get me that damn last vote. This guy can also come down here, which is going to get me... Is that what I'm going to do? Yeah, I guess I'll pay 2 money. I'm short a thing now, but I can pay that to get 1 back. Complete the action first, gain 2 of these. Play that one, get this. I'm holding off on these for a hot minute, because I need to trigger this guy. I need to trigger this guy. Come on, Black Timer. Come on, Black Timer. I need to trigger my man. Ooh, let's go. Yes. Okay, so we go down here. This guy gets me the vote, which means I can put my achievement cube up here and gain 1 of each of these. Okay, I can't pick that guy up now, but what I can do is go ahead and trigger this man over here for 2 of these, which is 2 more red votes and a yellow vote. I'm going to flip this over here, I suppose, which is a shame. Oh, I should have waited. Sugar. Okay, never mind. I'm going to pay. I'm going to pick this guy up, which reveals this. This man moves up here, and then I'm going to go ahead and pay 2 of these to play this card, which I haven't played all game, which is probably why I forgot about it. To pick this guy up, which is going to reveal 1 of these. Nothing happens. I'm going to get. 1 of these guys into here, and 1 of these guys into here, I guess. I have time for that, probably. Trigger this for 2 of these, and 1 of these. Trigger this for 2 of these, and 1 of these. Then I guess I'm going to... Oh, sugar. I need 1 more thing. I'm going to put him in there. I guess that's probably... I'm not going to have the votes to do anything, much of anything. Oh, that purple timer's so close to going as well. Oh god. I'm so far off, you guys, it's not even funny. And I really need someone else in there before that goes. I mean, it's not really going to help, but this goes. Pick this up, that's fine. Pick him up, that's still fine. Get him in there. Get him in there. I need the money. I've got the money. I can pay I can pick him up and move him down here, which is probably better. I'm going to have to flip that in a minute. But if I can flip this first, that gets me one extra blue point, and every little counts, right? Okay. Although actually that would, if this comes up, it's probably going to flip everything else, so that would be a disaster. I'm just letting the sand time run out now. Literally just, oh, that is much better, that or that. Oh God. I'm not going to have the money for much of anything else. I'm talking about one blue point here. But if that goes down there, they're going to get a victory point each and a vote each. I'm not going to have the votes to do much of anything. No, I think I flipped this one, even though it means I cannot... No, I can't optimize anything anyway. It's fine. I'll flip that, which is fine. I'll come down here, spend 2, which triggers 2 more red and a yellow. Come down here for 2, which triggers a blue and a yellow and a vote. Play this strategy card for 2, which gets me 1 more blue point. And that's the end of what I can do. I'm so far off. As I didn't even make everything onto the parchment. They're going to have so many more points than me. I'm going to be disqualified just from qualifying. Look at this. Not a good showing, guys. Not a good showing at all. And I was on the basic mode. This is a lot harder with the Automa, I think, than in the or in the multiplayer. But let's go ahead and calculate just how much I've lost by. But it's good practice too. I think it's good practice sort of to get your sort of head around the movements and the things like that. And hey, I've got I don't even have the money to buy any of these victory points. I'm going to wind up with the one that gives me one of each, which is not going to change anything. All right, here we go. Unless these no, it's the 17 points here that's absolutely killer. Jeez, these guys get a lot of points in the end. -1 vote, 0 votes, and 3 votes. 4 votes and 2 votes, and Orange Automa got no points on their cards at the end. Green got lots though, so it doesn't really matter. But Green has wound up with 11 votes, and Orange has wound up with 17 votes, and I've got 4. So I guess I'm in bottom place, which means that Orange is going to go ahead and get 2 victory points and take a card. So I've got the legendary achievement, which means he takes the yellow card because that's the track I'm furthest away from victory on. But it doesn't matter because I've got no money anyway, so I couldn't possibly have achieved that. And then it's the Green Automa who's going to take the red card. Again, doesn't matter because I couldn't have achieved it really, and he gets 1 point there. So my turn, I'm going to take this one, which gets me 1 more space on everything, so I look mildly less embarrassed. So much blue victory points. But to be fair, I would have had, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 there. I would have needed another 11 on all of these just to, I think, qualify. Let's have a look and see what their finals are. So Green is going to get 21. 1, 2, 3. So Green ends on 20. And Orange is going to get just 17, which puts him on 15. So, yeah, that's the end of the game. And bye, Haggers. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. To those of you who stuck right around till the end, thanks so much for sticking this one out with me. I've got -4, -3 or 4. I didn't qualify. Green and the AI has 15 and 20, so the Automa has 15 and 20. So congratulations to Green Automa 1 for winning, And I'm instructed now to whisper, I am the timeless queen. Because green can't talk on their own. So that's on behalf of the green player. Congratulations. And that's the end of the game for Pendulum. So let's come back out here. So I'll just do a sort of a quick little roundup of my thoughts on Pendulum. I've only played the solo mode 3 times and the main game just the once with 2 players. So there's a sort of only a limited amount of experience I've had with the game. But I can certainly give my initial impressions, which is that I find the real-time... Jonathan's like, GG, oof, GG, thanks for playing. Well, yeah, So the reason I picked up Pendulum was because I thought it sounded really, really interesting and just sort of unique and a bit unlike anything else I had in my collection, and that was absolutely correct. I don't have anything quite like it. It's a worker placement game where there is some contention for spots, but the more contention is sort of getting the timing right and then getting the spots you need when the timing is right, and also remembering to actually take the actions, which is surprisingly difficult, all things considered. So, and I didn't get to do the cool province sort of thing that I actually pulled off very well in one of my solo games, although I still lost that. So I think there's clearly a skill to be developed here. I did better in the other game, although or one of my other solo games, I did better in both of them actually, even though I was playing as the advanced characters. But so I think I'm just trying to remember what the price point for this game is. I'd love to check, but I don't know if I have the means to do that right now. But what I would say is that I enjoyed the game. I really, really liked it. My only real concern after my 2-player game was that it might not have the replayability to really last in the collection. Like, if I don't know if the interest would wear off the gimmick and sort of leave me with a game where it wasn't replayable enough to keep it coming to the table. But actually, I think that given how the advanced characters work, I actually think that that's not true, because they are quite a lot more difficult than the basic characters, in terms of sort of mental, like, in sort of cognitive load, not necessarily in terms of how... It's just a different way of thinking, I suppose, is what I'm saying. It's like a new puzzle to solve. So there's 5 characters. Is there 5? There might even be more than that. I literally said how many characters there were earlier. But I think there's at least 5 characters, which means that each side is double-sided as well. So, you've got 5 different advanced characters to sort of play with, which is good. So the replayability, I think, is there's an intriguing puzzle there. And if you play it 5 times, 6 times, you're already starting to get your money's worth, and you'll probably play it on the basic side a few times as well. I'm just bringing this up because I wanted to check how much it was. I paid for it. I didn't get a review copy, but I just can't remember exactly how much I paid for it. I pre-ordered it from Stonemaier Games, you see, and I don't know what I would... So it's a nice production. So it's about £45, it says here on the internet. I'm sure it's more expensive if you get it from your favorite local game store. But I'm sure the retail is probably a bit higher than that. Maybe 60 quid retail, maybe. Which is pretty dear, actually. And to be fair, it's a really nice production. I really like the quality of Stonemaier Games' productions. And, even though, people I think have become used to these incredibly sort of bling Kickstarters and everything like that, I really don't think that... for a non-Kickstarter, just out of the box game, it's really, really nice quality. The card stock's really nice. The one thing that I'm not a huge fan of is, they do make these boards here grippy, so they give it like this sort of sandpaper finish almost. I say sandpaper now, this grippy finish to prevent these from sliding around, but it's still a little too slidey, and It'd be nice to have like an indented board, but the sand timers are really good quality, and the artwork is nice. I think. I also think that it's quick to set up, which I really, really appreciate. You know, it's quick to set up. It's reasonably quick to play. It does have a lot of front end rules for a game that's quick to play, but that's okay because, you know, I can think of much worse culprits. I'm thinking specifically of Escape Plan and something else. That I had on the tip of my tongue and now I've lost. Sorry, my brain might have oozed out my ear a bit during this game. But yeah, I think that if I had a big collection, I'd be a lot more inclined to look at this game seriously. If I had a small collection, again, I'm not sure. Also, I can't. Jonathan's here in the chat. Maybe you can tell me what you thought about the look of the solo mode, Jonathan, because I think it's a really intriguing solo mode. But also, I don't know how many solo games I would need to have before I would recommend trying this solo. I do like the solo mode though. I think it's really compelling, and it's. I like how you're not just trying to best your own score. You've actually sort of got two scores to beat down here, and you know you can see that it's not a foregone conclusion because orange ended on 15 and green ended on 20. So it's not just, you know, a given ending. Oh, hey, Victor, thanks so much for your nice... Vixor, thank you for your nice comments. That's really, really kind. Cypher says, I thought you were going to be playing the guitar solos from Pendulum. But Pendulum's drum and bass, isn't it? Do they have big guitar solos? Can I play the bass solo? That's... I don't know what that is. Slap bass. I'm trying to do slap bass, but it sounded like something else. But yeah, so I think the thing is, I think this would be a really easy recommend for someone with a big collection if it was a bit cheaper. But yeah, exactly, Jonathan. The price is quite high. You know, Jonathan says in chat, he thinks it's steeply priced, but also he quite likes the real-time stuff. And I do think, as a take on real-time as well, this is really interesting because there are those sort of moments where you're sitting waiting for the timers to run out, making sure you've optimized everything and double-checking your work, so to speak, which is really compelling because usually real-time is literally just race against the clock as fast as you can, go, go, go. So the fact that this isn't that all the time, or you're using those moments of sort of downtime to play cards, it's Cypher. It's a really funny story. Sorry for the quick tangent, guys, but I actually used to work with the younger brother of one of the guys from Pendulum, so it's just really funny that he came up. They came up, but I totally forgotten about that. Dave, if you're out there and you're watching my channel, how's it going? Hope Calvin Ball's going well. That's his band, which is a reference to Calvin and Hobbes, which I also love. Anyway, back to this. If it was. I think it would be an easy even if it was a £30 game, I'd recommend it to everyone. I think because it's just so intriguing and unique. But at a £45 even price tag, I don't think I can recommend it to everyone. Certainly, if you have a big collection, I think it's definitely worth having a look at. If you like, but I think fundamentally you have to like the fun stress of real time, right? If you don't like that fun stress, like sort of trying to manage your time under pressure, then I just don't think, I think this is not really going to be enjoyable for you. I know it comes with the little doodad, this little guy here that lets you play without the egg timers, but this is not a game. That's just a really sort of like weirdly slow optimization worker placement game, and at that point just get a better proper worker placement game. That's just a training mechanism, really. So you'd be buying this to play with the egg timers. If you do like that stuff, if you do like that sort of real-time working under pressure kind of element, then, and you've got a lot of games, and you like worker placement, and you might play solo as well, especially right now. Like I think, £45 is your only overcoming block if you think that. That's not too bad. It will probably be quite well supported as well. Stonemaier are generally very good at supporting their games, unless it tanks horribly. But I don't think it will. I think it's intriguing enough. you know, but it's definitely not broad appeal. This is like the indie movie, you know, doing something a bit different. Yeah, if you see it on sale or you see a copy on the secondhand market for a low price, then I think that's definitely worth checking out. Elias says, "Oh, it's gotten late." Yeah, so for everyone who hung out in the chat, thanks so much. But maybe it is time to wrap up. After all, it's quite late, and we've all got work in the morning. But I can't really say much more than that, other than I'm not concerned about the replayability, if that was a concern on your mind. It certainly was on mine after one play, but I've been alleviated. And the quality is good, and the art is nice. The art is functional. I like the art on the characters. I heard some complaints that there weren't enough female characters, to which Jamie Stegmaier responded, "Well, a couple of the characters are gender neutral, which is fair enough. But hopefully they'll release a few more characters for it in a future expansion. Maybe I'd be interested to see what they do with it. But having played a few times as well, I've seen sort of a few more tactics come out as well. So there's I think sort of an opportunity here to sort of make use of these stratagem cards as you unlock them, and also the provinces as well. I'd love to see more variety in the province deck, actually. But Hexybeast says, "I wish the timers made a noise when they finished." Oh, I don't know. I think that's part of the appeal is sort of like being able to having to keep track of sort of when they're done, you know, and keeping your eye on them and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it really is an exercise in human error as well. If you're the kind of person that gets incredibly frustrated when you can't fully optimize, then this is definitely going to aggravate you, I think, because the challenge in this is to not make silly human errors, right? But you know, that's part of the fun. You know, I think I enjoy that in regular games anyway. You know, when we make a goofy error or I make some error, I'm always frustrated, but I'm like, oh, damn it. But, you know, everyone laughs and has a good time, so that's fine. That's what I tell myself. That's how I quell my inner perfectionist. Oh, Jonathan, well, he's got a baby in one hand. I'm losing my voice, so I think it's time to call this one a night. Just before I check out, I just have to give a big shout out to all of my Patreons on patreon.com. Just because, you know, without them, this stuff wouldn't happen. I wouldn't have the games to play. I wouldn't have the technology to do these cool live streams. So just a big thanks to everyone there for supporting the channel. But Cypher's heading off as well. No misunderstanding, Cypher. It's cool, man. Thanks for reminding me. I totally forgot about Pendulum, the band. But yeah, that's it from me. So a big shout out to everyone on Patreon who supports the channel, and thanks everyone who comes and watches the content and who's subscribed and comments and takes part. You know, and I'll be back shortly. I think I'm going to do another live stream this weekend. I also owe the patrons a Patreon post, which I'm going to be writing up very shortly. It's just been a mad week with work here in Britain, and I'm sure it's crazy everywhere. But anyway, I found my timeline's getting pushed back all week, which is funny because now I'm playing a real-time game. But thanks so much, everybody, for watching. Claudius and Elias, have a lovely night. And I'll catch all you guys in the next stream, probably on Sunday, but it might be Monday, which is a bank holiday here in Britain, I think, unless I'm completely wrong on my dates. But maybe on Sunday afternoon. And have a lovely weekend, guys, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.